Chapter 965. Crunch, crunch. Although it was a tense moment, Exquisite didn't forget to eat. She grabbed the fruit that Sakura passed to her and bit into it. However, while eating, she didn't forget to beg Lin Rei to let the golden dragons go. "Big brother, please let big uncle and the others go. They are actually good people. Dragons, they are very good, please." Looking at the tormented golden dragons and the others, Exquisite almost knelt down. She really didn't want to see them die. After all, they were the mainstay of the dragon race. Her father, the dragon emperor of the dragon race, Nameless Dragon, was the one who did it. Looking at Exquisite's adorable appearance and the few dragons who came to seek revenge in the formation, Lin Rei hesitated. Linley was the kind of person who would cut the weeds and eliminate the roots. He would never leave any potential trouble behind. He really did not want to let these dragons off. After all, if they were to seek revenge, what would happen to the Black Sect after he left? He really didn't want to see anything happen to his sect, relatives, or friends because of his decision today. But when he thought of Exquisite and his dead eldest son, Jin, he seemed to see a shadow of himself in Exquisite. That was why Lin Rei hesitated. Perhaps it was because of his guilt towards Jin, but after hesitating for a moment, under Exquisite's big, watery eyes, he nodded in agreement. "Okay, I can let them go." "Great, I knew Big Brother was the kindest." Seeing that Lin Rei agreed to let her uncles go, Exquisite was so happy that she danced with joy. But, just when Exquisite was happy, Lin Rei changed the topic. Exquisite, who was originally sensing something, was stunned and looked at Lin Rei with a puzzled expression. "Although I let them go, they can avoid death, but they can't escape punishment. It's too easy to let them go just like that. Besides, I have to ensure that they won't do anything that I will regret for the rest of my life." So, as he spoke, a few elixirs appeared in his hand. Seeing this, Sakura was stunned for a moment before he smiled. Others might not know, but he knew very well that this was the soul-controlling pill. It was effective even for saints. At this moment, he understood Lin Rei's thoughts. However, this was normal. After all, he did not want to let those dragons go. "What is this? It looks delicious." Seeing the pills in Lin Rei's hand, and the fragrance of the pills wafted into Ling Long's nose, the little gluttonous bug suddenly had the urge to eat them. It was just a thought, but she still did it. As she thought about it, she reached out to grab the pill in her hand and let him eat it. In her eyes, this was not poison or anything else. She only knew that this thing was very fragrant and very delicious, so, F***ck, you bastard. Seeing Ling Long's action, Lin Rei immediately retracted his hand. Seeing the pill in his hand tightly, his forehead was covered in sweat. Lin Rei was completely convinced by Ling Long, this glutton. He really did not expect Ling Long to be so daring. She did not even ask what this thing was and just wanted to eat it. However, he could not be blamed. Who asked the soul-controlling pill to not only look good, but also have a strong fragrance? He. At the side, seeing Lin Rei so embarrassed, she smiled. She found a clean rock and sat down, allowing him to watch the show in front of him comfortably. Especially since the main character of this show was Lin Rei, this made it even more interesting. As for Sakura, who did not mind watching the show, Lin Rei directly ignored him. Without thinking too much, he looked at Ling Long. He promised not to be stupid before, so he would not go back on his words. However, he still had to make some guarantees. After all, he did not want to regret it. When he saw Ling Long looking at his tightly clenched fist with a longing expression, black lines appeared on his forehead. He was not in a good mood. F***ck, how mean is your family to let you eat so much? Even though that was what he was thinking, his face remained calm as he said, "Little Ling Long, I can let them go because of you. However, for the safety of my family, you must let them take these pills." Only then will I be at ease and let them go. What do you think? His eyes were fixed on Ling Long. He was very displeased that Ling Long had agreed. Because this way, he could justifiably kill the dragon. However, things did not go as he wished. Ling Long's idea was very simple. She wanted to save the golden dragon and the other 5 dragons. Looking at the pill in Lin Rei's hand, Ling Long felt regretful and nodded firmly, I know. Big brother, don't worry. With me here, I guarantee that they will eat this pill obediently. Seeing Ling Long so determined, Lin Rei was stunned and felt a sense of disappointment. However, this disappointment disappeared as quickly as it came. Soon, he returned to normal. At this moment, after promising Lin Rei, she turned around and circulated her divine sect cultivation. She opened her voice and said to the array, "Eldest uncle, I am Ling Long. Can you hear me? Eldest uncle, I am Ling Long. Can you hear me?" The voices of cultivators flowed into the formation melodiously and accurately into the ears of the 5 golden dragons. Ling Long? They were already prepared to face death. When they heard this voice, they were stunned. Then, they opened their eyes and their faces were filled with disbelief. Why is this little girl here? Shouldn't she be cultivating in the sacred ground? This question quickly flashed through the 5 people's minds. However, they quickly threw this thought to the back of their minds. When they thought of the expert who had trapped them, their expressions immediately tensed up. Little Ling Long, quickly leave this place. It's too dangerous here. Go back to your father. He's safe there. Yes, Ling Long, quickly leave this place. It is too dangerous here. Hurry, little princess. Quickly leave this place. This is not a good place. Quickly leave and go back to your father. Bastard, Ling Long, quickly leave. Following the worried voice of the golden dragon, one after another, they all said the same thing. They were afraid that Ling Long would be hurt. They did not want to see that happen. In their hearts, Ling Long was like their child. Especially since she had perfectly inherited the legacy of the 5-clawed golden dragon and was the holy maiden of the dragon race. Therefore, they did not want anything to happen to her. Moreover, in their minds, Ling Long should be cultivating in the sacred ground of the dragon race. However, they did not care about that. At this moment, they could only pray that the expert who trapped them did not discover Ling Long's existence. Otherwise, thinking about it, they did not dare to think about it anymore. They did not know what would happen if they did. Meanwhile, in the outside world, when Ling Long, who was standing beside Lin Rei, heard that the golden dragon was worried about her life even though they were in such a deep place, she felt a sense of warmth. Her desire to save them grew stronger. She looked at Lin Rei with a smile and said, "See? What did I say? Big Uncle and the others are actually very kind." After saying that, he didn't give Lin Li a chance to speak and immediately turned to the golden dragon in the formation and continued, "Eldest uncle, don't worry. Big brother has already promised me that he won't kill you. However, as a condition, you must eat one of his medicinal pills." Hearing this, a manly smile appeared on Lin Li's face. However, when he heard Ling Long's next sentence, Lin Li's expression turned even more awkward. "Big uncle, let me tell you. Big brother's medicinal pills are very, very fragrant. They look delicious. But Big Brother is a little biased. He only gave you guys the pills, not Ling Long." As soon as these words came out, Lin Li began to sweat profusely. Not just Lin Li, even Sakura, without waiting for the other experts, clutched his stomach and began to laugh while rocking back and forth. As for the golden dragon inside the formation, when he heard this, black lines appeared on his forehead. They knew that Ling Long was a glutton. However, when he thought about the big brother that Ling Long mentioned, he knew the answer. Although he did not want to admit it, he could only nod. Okay, let him give us the medicinal pills. We are willing to take them. Big brother. Big brother, you, for a moment, the Black Frost Dragon, third brother, and second brother were all in disbelief. They did not expect their big brother to agree so readily. Sigh, let's give up. We can't even escape from this formation. What do you think we can do? Besides, if we die, what will happen to the dragon race? Although the Dragon Emperor is guarding this place, what about those rascals? Although it is a little sullen, for the sake of our clansmen and loved ones, this is nothing. Although the Golden Dragon's words were straightforward, the dragons were convinced. After all, everyone had loved ones. They did not want to push them to the edge of the storm because of their decision today. No matter where they were, no matter what race they were, there would always be families, nobles, and poor people. The dragon race was no exception. Therefore, for the sake of their family's prosperity, they had no choice but to let go of their pride and muddle along. Sigh, okay, let's agree. At this moment, Ling Long opened his mouth. It seemed as if he had used up all his strength to say this. He looked as if he had lost all his strength. Agree. I agree too. Seeing that one agreed, the others followed one after another. The Golden Dragon was very satisfied. After all, he did not want to see his brothers die in front of him. Seeing that everyone had agreed, the Golden Dragon smiled and turned to Ling Long and growled, "Ling Long, you say it. We, the Golden Dragon, and the others agree." Oh yeah. As soon as the Golden Dragon said this, the one who was the happiest was none other than Ling Long. However, although she was happy, she still had to do something. She looked at Lin Rei with her bright eyes and said, "Big brother, you see, I understand. Really, it's not fun at all." Lin Rei nodded and then shot the 5 soul-controlling pills in his hand towards the Golden Dragon. Whoosh! Whoosh! The sound of air being pierced rang out. The Golden Dragon, who was waiting, seemed to have sensed something. He immediately released his divine sense and saw 5 rays of light streaking across the area of his divine sense. Moreover, they were heading towards the crowd. The Golden Dragon's expression changed and he immediately released his cultivation to resist. However, before he could release his cultivation, the rays of light appeared in front of him. At first, he was very afraid. However, in the next moment, something amazing happened. He thought that the rays of light would be obliterated. However, the moment the rays of light reached the Golden Dragon, they stopped in front of him and floated in the air. Hiss! Pill treasure? The Golden Dragon exclaimed in shock. No matter how strong the pill was, it wouldn't hurt anyone. Furthermore, pills were useless to them. Of course, just because they didn't need it didn't mean that they didn't like it. Eat it. He understood that only by eating it could he continue to live. Without hesitation, the Golden Dragon grabbed the pill and swallowed it. The pill melted as soon as it entered his mouth and a fragrance filled his nose. At the side, seeing that his big brother didn't hesitate at all, he also swallowed the pill without hesitation. "Ha, at least you know what's good for you." Lin Rei, who had been paying attention to the situation in the array, couldn't help but admire them when he saw that they didn't hesitate to take the pill. After all, there weren't many people with such courage in Lin Rei. "Big brother, that," Ling Long's voice came from behind. Lin Rei quivered and turned around. "What's the matter?" Seeing Ling Long's expression, he seemed to have understood something. With a thought, a pill appeared in his hand. This pill was very suitable for Divine Ancestor realm cultivation. However, he didn't have many of these pills. After all, he was now a late-stage hierarch. Therefore, he had even fewer of these pills. Of course, the most important thing was that he didn't want to refine them. After all, he couldn't let a first-stage saint-grade alchemist refine divine ancestor realm pills for others. Unless that person had something he really wanted. He. Thank you, big brother. Sigh. This child. Seeing Ling Long eating happily, he was stunned and didn't say anything else. He could only smile bitterly to express his current thoughts. Do you plan to be easygoing next? Or? Seeing that the matter was settled, Sakura, who was watching the show, stopped watching and asked. I haven't decided yet. Lin Rei didn't hide anything from Sakura, but since we're here in the Dragon Clan, it wouldn't be good if we don't go there. Also. As he spoke, a mysterious smile appeared, as if he thought of something. That's good. I really want to see what kind of parents can give birth to a glutton like Ling Long. Seeing that Sakura was stirring up trouble, he rolled his eyes and ignored him. Heaven-sealing dragon lock array, withdraw. Not long after, the formation within a radius of 1,000 feet disappeared without a trace, as if it had never appeared in the first place. Whoosh, plop. Subordinate from the Golden Dragon Clan, Long Yu greets Master. Subordinate from the Red Dragon Clan, Chi Yu greets Master. Subordinate from the Black Frost Dragon Clan, Han Feng greets Master. Subordinate from the Winged Dragon Clan, Feng Tianyi greets Master. Just as Lin Rei withdrew the array, several figures came in front of Lin Rei. Without any explanation, they knelt on the ground and introduced themselves. Chapter 966. Big Uncle, you guys. The sudden appearance of the Golden Dragon and the word Master when he knelt before Lin Rei had left Exquisite, who was full of anticipation, dumbfounded. It was apparent that she didn't expect the Golden Dragon to do this. Of course, she had never thought of this before. However, this scene really happened. In the dragon race, unless the emperor of their own race bowed down to them, no one else could make the dragon race submit to them, especially to humans. In the dragon race's view of the world, humans were insignificant, pitiful, weak, and despicable. Therefore, it was impossible for the dragon race to submit to a human. But now, one appeared in front of her, the saintess of the dragon race, the future emperor. Her big, watery eyes stared at the impossible scene in front of her. She was stunned, and confused. Not bad, Lin Rei. This time, you've gotten 5 good subordinates. It seems that you don't have to walk or fly alone anymore. Looking at the Golden Dragon and the other 4 dragons, Sakura's eyes glinted. In his eyes, the Golden Dragon and the others were his mounts and means of transportation. Seeing how excited Sakura was, Lin Rei shook his head helplessly. He couldn't figure it out. In the past, Sakura wasn't like this. At that time, he couldn't even beat a fart with a few sticks. But now, he had changed too much. Lin Rei couldn't get used to it. He didn't understand who he learned this from and who he followed. Sigh. Shaking his head, Lin Rei didn't have the chance to reply to Sakura's suggestion. He turned to the Golden Dragon and the others. Although he didn't have the intention to kill them, he was still disgusted with them. Get up. Yes, sir. Upon receiving Linley's orders, the Gold Dragon and the other 4 dragons rose to their feet, then moved to stand behind Linley. They stood behind him respectfully, not saying anything. They just waited respectfully for Linley's orders. Damn, big brother, what's going on? Why are Big Uncle and the others? At this moment, Ling Long finally recovered from her shock. She then looked at Lin Rei in confusion and asked. Little Ling Long did not feel good about the Golden Dragons and the others at the moment. After all, she was a member of the dragons, especially a 5-clawed golden dragon who was an emperor. How could she stand it when she saw her people kowtowing to a human? Of course, this was only the subconscious reaction of little Ling Long. She was not like that in person. Looking at Ling Long, Lin Rei didn't hide anything, because he didn't want to hide anything from her. Perhaps it was because her and Jinan's expressions were too similar to Lin Rei's, so he subconsciously treated her as his own child. They wanted to kill me before. Although you pleaded on my behalf, I'm still very worried about unstable factors like this. In particular, after I reached the Saint's world, I don't want a moment of carelessness to lead to a disaster. I don't want my family and friends to go through that tragedy again. I can't afford to gamble. Lin Rei's body was filled with sorrow. He didn't want to, but it was the truth after all. At the same time, he didn't want to lie to Ling Long, big brother. Sensing Lin Rei's sorrow, Ling Long's eyes, which were originally filled with intelligence, became misty for some reason. Her voice became choked as if she would cry at any moment. Ugh, seeing Ling Long like this, Linli was startled. But then, his gloominess was swept away, and a rare smile appeared on his face. Pretending to be indifferent, he said, Hey, what's going on? Our little Ling Long is crying. Seriously, at the side, Sakura understood tacitly and immediately echoed Linli, that's right, who is this? Isn't this little Ling Long of the Dragon Clan? Ah, why is she crying? Is this still that beautiful little Ling Long? Hearing Sakura's words, Lin Rei couldn't help but give him a thumbs up. Lin Rei was really defeated by Sakura's words. However, as if it was because of this, Ling Long snorted and pouted. She said angrily, when did I do that? Big brother, you clearly saw wrongly. Yeah, right. Big brother, you saw wrongly. After saying that, she quickly turned around and forcefully hid the tears in her eyes. Seeing this, Lin Rei smiled and turned to Huang Jinlong and the others. Go to the entrance of the Xianming Valley and bring my 2 wives here. After saying that, he waved his hand and spiritual energy filled the air. Suddenly, 2 lifelike figures appeared in front of the 5 dragons. This is it. Hurry up and go. If they don't believe you, give them this thing. They will naturally believe you when the time comes. A black token was casually thrown to Huang Jinlong. If the people of the Xuanzong sect saw this token, it wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that they would definitely kneel on the ground and kowtow to it. Even the current Xuanzong sect leader, Lin Rei's son, Lin Yun, was the same. Not for other reasons, but because this token represented the strongest power of the Xuanzong sect. In the entire Xuanzong sect, only Lin Rei, the founder, had this token. Even if someone wanted to, it was impossible. This was because Lin Rei had set up a formation in this token and used a special method to imprint his Dharma body's will into it. Moreover, Lin Rei wasn't afraid of it being stolen. Even if someone stole it, as long as a trace of spiritual energy was released into the token, it would automatically determine who the spiritual energy came from. If it wasn't Lin Rei himself, then Lin Rei's will would be activated. The final result was obvious. Other than death, there was no other outcome. Understood. Feeling the cold sensation from the token, Huang Jinlong's heart skipped a beat and he nodded. Then, he led his 4 brothers and disappeared towards the entrance of the Xianming Valley. Damn, Lin Rei, you. Seeing Huang Jinlong leaving in such a hurry, Sakura was unwilling for a moment. Are you serious? You only let Huang Jinlong receive Ing and Bing. Then, what about Tian Ning and Dubhe Rabbit? Them? Looking at Sakura with a strange gaze, a strange smile appeared. They aren't my wives. Moreover, your wife isn't among them. Now, they are at most our partners. Moreover, they are dispensable partners. If it wasn't for their friendship with you, not to mention other things, just based on the fact that they are the incarnations of the slaughter origin, I would be able to devour them to increase my cultivation. What do you think? You. Hearing Lin Rei's words, Sakura wanted to refute, but he forcefully swallowed the words that were about to come out of his mouth. He didn't know what to say. After all, Lin Rei was right. Of course, he didn't know that Lin Rei's words were just to provoke him. How could Lin Rei not know about Sakura's feelings for Tian Ning? However, Lin Rei was very serious about the latter part of his words. If it wasn't for Sakura, he might really devour Tian Ning and Dubhe Rabbit. Sakura was silent. Lin Rei only felt that the heaven and earth suddenly became quiet. This was a feeling he liked very much. Since there is still some time, why don't I go and cultivate? No matter how small a mosquito is, it's still meat. While thinking, he came to a clean square stone and was about to sit cross-legged with his palms facing the sky. Big brother, do you want to come to my dragon race as a guest? Our dragon race has lived here for tens of thousands of years. No outsider has ever entered. Just as Lin Rei was about to cultivate, little Ling Long suddenly asked such a question. Lin Rei was stunned. Go to the dragon race. Actually, he also has such a plan and is preparing to do so. First, he wanted to go to the dragon race to take a look at their current situation. After all, he had promised the little golden dragon to help him find his family. Second, of course, it was about the space origin. As the master of the Xianming Valley, he wanted to get some information from the dragon race. Looking up at little Ling Long, seeing her clear and bright eyes, Lin Rei faintly smiled and nodded. Okay, since little Ling Long invited me, how can Big Brother have the heart to refuse little Ling Long? I promise you. When Big Brother's wife comes, I will accompany you to the dragon race as a guest. Oh yeah, that's great. Little Ling Long, who didn't have any thoughts, was overjoyed when she saw Lin Rei agree. On the other hand, Sakura was unusually silent. Lin Rei didn't want to say anything to him. Although he was a clone, Lin Rei had never treated him as a clone. After all, he had his own thinking ability, so, he didn't say anything and closed his eyes to rest. Then, he began to organize the space origin technique in his mind. Lin Rei had been looking forward to this technique for a long time. Previously, the little dragon said that he would wait until he reached the late ultimate god realm. Although he was only at the mid-ultimate god realm when he gave it to him, because of the sudden awakening of his bloodline, he was now at the peak late ultimate god realm. The little dragon was right about this. At the entrance of the Xianming Valley, it was Tian Ning's turn to be nervous. After all, she couldn't leave Sakura. Why isn't he back yet? Isn't it just going to investigate? He should at least reply. She looked at the entrance of the valley from time to time. She walked back and forth in front of the Dubhe Rabbit and Ing without feeling tired. I say, sister, can you stop walking? If you don't walk back and forth like this, I'm going to faint for you. The Dubhe Rabbit couldn't help but say while looking at Tian Ning. Yes. Sister Tian Ning. Ing looked at Tian Ning and said, don't be like this. With Sakura and my husband's cultivation, I don't think anything will happen to them. Don't worry. Although Ing said that, she was actually feeling weak in her heart. Although she said that, she was very worried in her heart like Tian Ning. But, Just as Tian Ning was about to say something, Ying's expression changed drastically. He stood up and unleashed all his great perfection ultimate god realm without holding anything back. She looked at the Xianming Valley with a dignified expression. A 3-foot-long cold sword was already in her hand. The sword's cry soared into the sky and resounded through the clouds. What's wrong? Ying's action caused Bing to stand up and ask. Not only Bing, but the Dubhe Rabbit and Tian Ning also looked at Ing in confusion, wanting an answer. Ignoring everyone's gazes, Ing stared at the entrance of the valley and said in a dignified voice, there are experts approaching, and, we don't know how many of them there are. What? Tian Ning and the others were shocked. They immediately released their divine senses and rushed towards the entrance of the Xianming Valley. As expected, there are indeed several powerful auras rapidly approaching. The Dubhy rabbit spoke with a dignified expression. What do we do? Everyone sensed it. They also felt that they couldn't resist these powerful auras, especially the leader. It was so strong that Ing felt suffocated. Humph, what else can we do? Only one move will give us a chance of survival. If we don't fight, I don't need to say what will happen to us. Everyone should know. While following by Linley's side, he hadn't learned anything else, but he had learned most of Linley's ability to remain calm and collected when faced with problems. In addition, he had Linley's charisma as well. Yes, let's fight. A wave of cold air suddenly appeared. Suddenly, the temperature within a radius of a few miles suddenly became extremely cold. If it weren't for the fact that everyone present had a high cultivation base, they would have been injured by this wave of cold air. Tisk, tsk, such extreme cold air is rare. I didn't expect Lin Rei's 2 wives to be so strong. I thought they were just flower vases. The Heavenly Pivot Rabbit and Tian Ning were shocked by the strength of Ing and Bing. Especially the cold air that Bing emitted, it shocked the two of them. I didn't expect the 2 sisters to be so strong. Tian Ning cupped her hands and praised the 2. Yes, I didn't expect you to be so strong. I don't know what luck Lin Rei has accumulated in his life to let you, shut up. Suddenly, Ing shouted coldly. The Heavenly Pivot Rabbit, who was about to speak, swallowed its words and looked at Ing blankly. You keep talking about my husband in front of us. It's fine before, but you don't know what's good for you. Do you really think we don't dare to kill him? In Ying's heart, Lin Rei was her reverse scale, her life. Previously, the Dubhy Rabbit said that it was fine for Ing and Dubhy Rabbit to complain. After all, Di Shi Tian was there at that time, but now, boom, a shocking murderous aura suddenly burst out from Ing and Bing. Although it wasn't as strong as the innate murderous origin, it couldn't be underestimated. Tian Ning saw the 2 of them and felt embarrassed. She quickly stopped them. She knew it was her Dubhy Rabbit's fault, so, let's talk nicely. She turned to the Dubhy Rabbit and reprimanded, You 2, why are you talking about them? Really, you don't make people worry at all. Look at how you, for a moment. Tian Ning began to preach to the Dubhy Rabbit. Ing and Bing snorted and didn't say anything. In their divine senses, a few powerful auras appeared and were getting closer. Ing and the others were extremely nervous. Although they didn't know if they were friends or foes, everyone who appeared in the Xianming Valley except for Lin Rei and Di Shi Tian was suspicious. A woo, dragon roars rushed out of the Xianming Valley and reached Ing and the others' ears. Hearing this dragon roar, Ing and the others' expression changed greatly. Dragon race. There really is a dragon here. Thinking of the rumors, Ing and the others' expression changed greatly. Thinking of Lin Rei and Dubhy Rabbit, they couldn't help but worry. Chapter 967. They were worried about their husband, Lin Rei. After all, the Dragon Clan was a natural-born cultivator of the physical body. Not only were they powerful, but their secret techniques were also unfathomable. Bing, get ready. It may be a battle of life and death. Our husband is not here. We have to be careful. Remember, your life is the most important thing. Do you hear me? If you can't hold on, I'll stop them. You leave first. What? At this moment, Bing's face was shocked. She quickly shook her head and refused, No, absolutely not. I'll stop them. Sister, you leave. After all, whoa. Just as the 2 women were rejecting each other, the dragon's roar approached. Finally, 5 figures appeared in front of Ing and the other dead people. May I ask, Your Excellency, may I ask, which one of you is Miss Ing and Miss Bing? Just as Ing was about to ask the other party's intentions, the leader of the dragon clan, Golden Dragon, quickly spoke up. Huh? Hearing the person in front of them call out their names, the two people were suddenly at a loss. Besides being confused, Ing and Bing didn't have any other thoughts. They really couldn't figure out how these dragons knew their names. May I ask, which one of you is Miss Ing and Miss Bing? Seeing that no one spoke, Golden Dragon patiently asked again. However, this time, Ing didn't remain silent like before. She raised her head and looked at the crowd, although there were many things she didn't want to say. I'm Ing, this is Bing. I wonder if you, plop, plop. Ing had just opened her mouth to say her identity when the next moment, a scene that shocked Ing and the others appeared. The moment the 5 dragons learned that Ing was the one they wanted to change their luck, they didn't say anything else and directly knelt on the ground and respectfully said, "We are the generals that the director just took in. We were ordered to bring the 2 ladies to the master. Please come up, we will carry you there." Then, Golden Dragon glanced at the Black Frost Dragon and the Red Dragon beside him. Suddenly, the 2 understood and directly transformed into their dragon forms, waiting for Ing and Bing to ride them. Please. This scene happened so fast and so suddenly that the 2 of them hadn't come back to their senses yet. F***ck, F***ck, what did Lin Ray do to make the Dragon Clan willing to become his mount? Is this F***king heaven-defying? That's right. Did Linley rob the Dragon Clan? Since that's the case. Even Tian Ning, who had always been steady, opened her mouth. Mistresses, before Master left, he gave this subordinate something and said that if the 2 mistresses don't believe him, I should show it to him. As he spoke, Huang Jinlong took out the command medallion that Lin Ray had given him and handed it to the Shadow Children for inspection. This is Order of the Xuanzong Sect. That's right, this was Lin Ray's unique Xuanzong Sect token. Lin Ray was the only one in the world who had it. It was impossible for anyone else to have such a thing. When she saw the command medallion, she was shocked. She knew that they had indeed been sent by her husband to receive her and the others. In comparison, her originally tense heart finally relaxed. Her appropriate cultivation also dissipated, disappearing without a trace. Mistresses, do you believe in my identity now? Judging from the 2 ladies' expressions, Huang Jinlong knew that they believed him. Emin, we understand. Since Master sent you to receive us, then, let's go. The 2 of them didn't say anything else. Under the gaze of Huang Jinlong and the others, the 2 of them each climbed onto a dragon and waited to depart. Ha ha ha, we can sit on a dragon now. Seeing the 2 of them sit on a dragon, the Heavenly Pivot Rabbit excitedly skipped over to the dragon, wanting to leave on a dragon like the 2 of them. Apologies, Master said that only the 2 of us are allowed to sit on the dragon, so, apologies. Just as the Heavenly Pivot Rabbit was about to reach the Black Frost Dragon's side, a large hand stopped it. What? You, hearing this, both Tian Ning and the Heavenly Pivot Rabbit were stunned. They didn't expect this result. They were originally happy to sit on a dragon, but now it was a completely different situation. Seeing this, the 2 of them laughed inwardly. However, their faces were still cold, making one's hair stand on end. It felt like they were 1,000 miles away. Seeing the 2 of them in a deadlock, the 2 of them really wanted to see their husband. Sighing inwardly, she ordered Huang Jinlong, let them come up as well. We want to see our husband as soon as possible. We don't want to waste time because of this matter. Sure enough, under Shadow's command, the Golden Dragon nodded respectfully. Yes, Master. Huang Jinlong turned around and stopped the Heavenly Pivot Rabbit's hand. You 2 go up, hurry up. You, although they were very angry, the Heavenly Pivot Rabbit and Tian Ning still obediently sat on the Black Frost Dragon. After all, they didn't know where Lin Ray was. Moreover, flying from here to Lin Ray should be very far. They didn't want to fly. Let's go. Seeing that everyone was present, Huang Jinlong spoke. Suddenly, 5 dragons soared into the sky, carrying Ying and the others into the depths of Xianming Valley. Regarding this, Linli continued to quietly focus on his spatial arts. After all, he had just reached such a high level of suspense. In addition, spatial arts could only be used if one had mastered the prime essences of space. Thus, TSK, this thing is so mysterious. Void Blade? Although it's just a simple and low-level spatial technique, it's indeed the easiest to learn. Sorting out the information in his mind, Lin Ray finally came to this conclusion regarding spatial arts. There was no other reason other than the fact that time was too short. He didn't want to send her into seclusion for 10,000 years. So, Void Blade was a low-grade spatial art that used spatial arts to cast. It could cut and pierce through the enemy without leaving a trace. It was unfathomable and unpredictable. No one could catch a trace of it. Divine Sense couldn't detect it. It was a must-have technique for killing and plundering. F***CK. Looking at the usage of Void Blade, Lin Ray was shocked. Especially when he heard the last sentence, must-have technique for killing and plundering. Lin Ray really wanted to curse. However, thinking about the Void Blade, his heart surged. One must know that when facing an enemy, the preemptive strike was the king. Now that he had this technique, he wouldn't need to be afraid when encountering a strong enemy. Of course, this was also within his ability to bear, otherwise, time passed bit by bit. Lin Ray was in the midst of cultivation. Ling Long was very obedient and didn't disturb Lin Ray. Instead, she played with Di Shi Tian at the side. In a blink of an eye, 3 days passed. And on this day, Lin Ray finally welcomed the return of Ying and the others. A dragon's roar awoke Linli from his meditation. He exited his meditation and opened his eyes, a bright light shining in them. After 3 days of relentless meditation, he had finally reached the beginner level of the simplest spatial technique, Space Blade. Although Lin Ray wasn't very satisfied with this, but he still accepted it. After all, haste makes waste. Everything had to be done slowly, especially this kind of thing, which couldn't be rushed. He got up and looked at Huang Jinlong and the others who had already arrived. His gaze fell on the 2 figures on the Black Frost Dragon and the Crimson Dragon. A smile appeared on his face. He went to the Crimson Dragon's side and reached out to stop Ying, who was sitting on the Crimson Dragon. Looking at his wife whom he hadn't seen for a long time, Lin Ray was very excited. After all, except for Ying and Ling Long, everyone else was in the Xuanzong sect. Thank you for your hard work. He whispered in Ying's ear. His tone was very gentle. The current Lin Ray was no longer the demon emperor that the people of the immortal world spoke of. Sure. You've been here for more than 10 years. Didn't you say you were going to investigate? Although Lin Ray's gentle words made her heart flutter, she still turned her head and pretended to be angry. Husband, what happened to you during this period of time? Everyone. On the side, seeing Lin Ray deflated, Bing smiled and pointed at the dragon under her, as if asking them what was going on. Don't worry about them. They were just accidentally subdued. Since you're here, then come. Let me introduce you to a little beauty. Thump. Hearing these words, the faces of the 2 women simultaneously changed and turned ugly. They looked at Linli with a complicated expression. It seems like we've been misunderstood. Feeling the change in their expressions, Lin Ray was stunned. He smiled bitterly and shook his head. He knew what the 2 were thinking, but, let's go. Saying that, he reached out his hand to the waist of the 2 girls and arrived beside Di Shi Tian in a flash. Come, this is the little friend I just met, the dragon race's little Ling Long, pointing at the little girl beside Di Shi Tian, Lin Rei introduced her to Ying and Ling Long. Especially when he said the words little girl, Lin Rei deliberately emphasized his tone, as if he was deliberately saying it for Ying and Ling Long to hear. Little girl. The disappointment in her heart was swept away after seeing little Ling Long, because little Ling Long was too small. Looking up at her husband's smiling face, a blush appeared on her cheeks. She smiled bitterly in her heart. She originally thought that her husband had fallen in love with some girl, but now she completely understood. It turned out that she was thinking too much. Wow, what a beautiful little sister. On the side, Bing looked at little Ling Long and cried out in surprise. She then squatted down and pinched her little face. Aya, so cute. While pinching little Ling Long's cheeks, she cried out in surprise with a face full of smiles. That. Bing, don't pinch little Ling Long. Seeing his wife's action, Lin Rei smiled awkwardly. He quickly opened his mouth. He was afraid that if he didn't open his mouth, Bing would continue like this. Oh. Sure enough. Hearing Lin Rei's words, Bing reluctantly left little Ling Long and returned to Ying's side. Looking at Ying and Ling Long, Lin Rei smiled and said, well, let's rest for a while and then prepare to visit the dragon race. Dragon race? A cry came from afar. Looking up, Dubhy Rabbit excitedly jumped down from the black frost dragon and flashed in front of Di Shi Tian. That uncontrollable excitement made Lin Rei speechless. Are you okay? At this time, Tian Ning came from afar. After seeing Di Shi Tian, she asked about his recent situation. Hey! Looking at Di Shi Tian and the other two, Lin Rei didn't disturb them. Instead, he went to the side and chatted with his wife and little Ling Long. Not long later, Di Shi Tian brought Tian Ning to Lin Rei. Looking at them, Lin Rei smiled and stood up. Let's go. It is time to go to the dragon race. Ah, that's great. We can go home now. If father sees that I have made so many friends, he will be very happy. Hearing that Lin Rei and the others were going to her clan, little Ling Long jumped up excitedly with a happy smile on her face. Let's go. At the side, the golden dragon and the other 4 dragons understood tacitly and transformed into 5 huge dragons to wait for everyone to ride. Everyone sat down. Lin Rei, who was the leader, said to the golden dragon, bring us to the dragon race. Roar, yes, master. But there are some array formations and restrictions at the entrance to the dragon race, so, don't worry. Just focus on flying. As for the array formations and restrictions you mentioned, leave them to me. Lin Li was quite confident in his mastery of formations and restrictive spells. After all, he was a Saint rank array master. Okay. The golden dragon believed in Lin Rei's confidence. After all, they had just experienced the power of Lin Rei's array formations. Big brother, let me tell you. Our dragon race is. Just like that, everyone set foot on the road to the dragon race. During this process, little Ling Long's little mouth didn't stop talking. She kept explaining to Lin Rei and the others about the dragon race's power and the beauty of the dragon race's scenery. Lin Rei and the others listened attentively to little Ling Long's words. Although they understood that little Ling Long had never gone out before, which was why she thought the dragon race's scenery was the most beautiful. Everyone was carried by the golden dragon all the way to the depths of the Xianming Valley. The speed was astonishing. Time passed as everyone chatted. During this time, little Ling Long asked Lin Rei for a lot of delicious food. There were spirit fruits, elixirs, and all kinds of natural treasures. As for these, Lin Rei wasn't stingy at all. As long as little Ling Long wanted something, he would do his best to satisfy it. Bing, and the others were shocked. Especially as Lin Rei's wife, Ying understood her husband's character very well. But she didn't understand why he treated little Ling Long like this. Of course, this was also because of her doubts. She didn't stop Lin Rei's actions. After all, little Ling Long was very beautiful, like a porcelain doll. She was very beautiful and lovable. The dragon race was located in a secret realm in the depths of the Xianming Valley. Of course, it could also be said that the dragon race lived in an open space. It was also a small world. In order to open a small world like this, one needed to be exceedingly powerful. Even a Dao fruit sage wouldn't be able to open such a space. Unless one reached the Dao integration stage or broke through to another level, perhaps only then could one do it. At this moment, several resplendent rays of light streaked across the sky and appeared at the entrance of the dragon race. Master, this is the entrance to the dragon race. Chapter 968. This was a very beautiful place with pleasant scenery. There were ponds, grass, flowers, and trees. It could be said that it was a good place to live in seclusion. However, this was indeed a dead end. Looking at the dead end in front of him, Lin Rei looked at the golden dragon with a puzzled expression, as if to say, "Are you joking? Master, to enter the dragon clan, you need a token to open the way, so..." Understanding Lin Rei's puzzled expression, the golden dragon was stunned. Then, he took out a blue token made of unknown material. Seeing this token, Lin Rei understood. Usually, secret places would need tokens or restrictions to open the way. Just like the Xuanzong sect, they also needed a token to open the mountain gate. Lin Rei did not say anything. He just waited quietly for the golden dragon to make his move. Xian Gate, open. It was very simple, just 3 words. Then, the token pressed against the void. In the next moment, something wonderful happened. Originally, there was no way to go in front of the cliff. But in the next moment, the moment the golden dragon took out the token, a door similar to a void hole appeared. The power of space. Feeling the energy coming from the void hole, Lin Rei was stunned. He subconsciously thought of the void blade he learned before. Didn't it give him this feeling? That's right, it's the power of space. I didn't expect this dragon clan member to be able to comprehend the way of space. And judging by the size of this space, the dragon clan member who opened this space is very strong. It seems to have, ding, little dragon, please note that what you are about to say will touch upon the host's authority. If you force yourself to say something that the host does not have the authority to know, you will receive punishment from the system. Ding, repeat. Stop your irrational actions. Just as Lin Rei confirmed that the power coming from the void hole was the power of space, the little dragon's voice sounded. Moreover, the little dragon also admitted that Lin Rei knew the bottom. It continued to explain, but it stopped at the end. It was as if Lin Rei should not know the next thing. Go on. Lin Rei was stunned when he heard the little dragon stop explaining. He didn't understand why the little dragon had stopped at the crucial moment. Scram. I can't say what I'm going to say next. Just now, the system notified me that you don't have the authority to know. So, bear with it. Of course, if you really want to know. After taking a deep breath, the little dragon continued, continue to work hard in your cultivation. When you achieve the Great Path system, the authority it has over you will disappear. At that time, the system will tell you everything you want to know. F***ck, it's as good as not saying anything. Looking at the little dragon, Lin Rei couldn't help but raise his middle finger, his disdain undisguised. Facing Lin Rei's attitude, the little dragon really wanted to clarify things. But he didn't dare to do so with the system's warning. After all, not everyone could bear the system's punishment. Even he didn't want to bear the system's punishment. Because it really hurt. Even though the little dragon was in a spirit state, he didn't want to do anything to provoke the system. Sigh, forget it. Do as you see fit. You don't have much time left. I'll take my leave first. After saying that, the little dragon disappeared and returned to the system. Lin Rei was already used to this and didn't care about it. TSK, if you don't want to say it, then don't say it. You have so many excuses. Lin Rei didn't know about the system's warning. However, Lin Rei didn't care about it. After all, he knew that he wasn't strong enough now. Big brother, let's go. We'll reach Exquisite's house soon after we enter this place. Exquisite will bring you around the dragon race's hometown. At this moment, the happiest one was Exquisite, especially when she brought Lin Rei and the others home. Okay, whatever you say. Looking at Exquisite, Lin Rei dotingly stroked her silky hair and patted the golden dragon. The golden dragon let out a deep growl, turned into a golden stream of light, and rushed into the void entrance. Boss, wait for us. The remaining dragons were called golden dragons, and they carried Lin Rei away. Everyone let out deep growls and rushed into the void entrance one after another. In the end, the instant everyone disappeared into the void entrance closed and disappeared without a trace as though it had never appeared. In the outside world, the mountains, rivers, and scenery remained the same. Nothing had changed and everything was the same as before. At the place where the dragon chief was, a group of people were discussing something important in the hall. The atmosphere in the hall was stifling. Everyone frowned, especially the middle-aged man who sat at the head of the table. His face was so gloomy that it reached the freezing point. If Ling Long were here, she would definitely run straight into the arms of the middle-aged man. That was because he was the clan leader of the dragon clan, Ling Long's father, Long Wuming. As for the remaining dozen or so people, they were all elders or grand elders of the dragon clan. Everyone, have you thought of a solution? How should we deal with that thing? After all, we don't have much time left. If we can't find a solution, we can only migrate the entire race. As soon as he finished speaking, everyone was stunned. Their expressions were very complicated. There was disappointment, helplessness, anger, sarcasm, and all sorts of other expressions. At this moment, an old man beside Long Wuming saw that everyone was silent and the atmosphere was stifling. He immediately spoke up to ease the tension. Wuming, this matter can't be solved so easily. After all, the other party is using the power of space. You should know that this kind of power can't be blocked. So what if we're from the dragon race? So what if we have a small world? So what? In the face of the power of space, we're no different from ants. Putting aside the power of space, the other party's cultivation is very strong. As the strongest in our dragon race, how many moves do you think you can take? When Long Wuming, who was sitting in the seat of honor, heard this, he wanted to refute on the spot. However, as soon as he spoke, he choked on his words. His expression was very ugly. It wasn't that he didn't want to say it. It was that he had no choice at all. Just as he said, how many moves could he take? Amen? Suddenly, just as Long Wuming was speechless and was about to say that silence was golden, a golden light suddenly flashed in his storage ring. Who opened the spatial door? Filled with doubts, Long Wuming took out a token and closed his eyes to sense it. Human. In the next moment, when Long Wuming opened his eyes, a cold light flashed and the word human popped out. What? Human? Impossible. Other than the people of our dragon race, there's no other human cultivator who can use that spatial door. Moreover, this is the dragon race. Do you think that they would be so stupid as to charge into the dragon race? That's right. Clan Chief, how could humans possibly enter our place? Even if there are rumors about our dragon race in the outside world, they don't know the exact location of our dragon race at all. Furthermore, the entrance to the spatial door is hidden. Without a token, it's impossible for anyone to discover it. That's right, that's right. When Long Wuming saw that his words had caused a commotion below, he was stunned for a moment. Then, he coldly berated the crowd, "Humph, you weren't so enthusiastic when we were discussing earlier. Now, you're all discussing such a small matter." With a cold gaze, Long Wuming swept his gaze across the crowd below. Then, without wasting any time, he stood up and looked to his side. Bowing respectfully, he said, "Supreme Elder, earlier, Wuming sensed that humans had entered our dragon race." Furthermore, as he said that, a trace of awkwardness appeared on his face. "Furthermore, the person following them seems to be my daughter." "So, what? Little Ling Long?" Everyone was shocked. When the Supreme Elder heard Long Wuming's words, his complexion turned extremely ugly. If it was said that he did not believe it before, but now, he was completely convinced that this matter was true. There was no other reason other than the fact that Ling Long was involved. That's right. That's not all. Golden Dragon and his brother seem to have come together. So, I'll go and take a look. I'm afraid that little Ling Long might be deceived by the humans. If something were to happen, I'm afraid. Before Long Wuming could finish his words, the Supreme Elder immediately nodded his head and said, "Enough. Hurry up and go." "No, forget it. I'll go with you." Hearing those words, Long Wuming was stunned. Then, he looked down and a domineering aura filled his body. "All of you, wait here while we think of a solution. If you still haven't come up with a solution by the time we return, there's no need for this seat to say anything. Just go and receive your punishment." Clan Chief, we. It must be said that Long Wuming's method was truly cunning. Hearing such an order, the crowd's expression changed immediately. "This seat is informing all of you. That's all." After saying that, he left the hall with the Supreme Elder and waited at the entrance of the door without waiting for the crowd to start discussing. At this moment, Lin Rei and the rest who were in the passageway did not know that the moment they entered the Dragon Clan's entrance, the clan chief of the Dragon Clan, Long Wuming, had already sensed their presence. At this moment, the crowd was looking at the void around them curiously. Although this was only a small space passageway, there was indeed a void on both sides of the passageway. If not for the protection of the passageway's energy, if their auras were to spread to the void outside the passageway, the only outcome awaiting them would be death. Number 4 was not exaggerating. The void was filled with many primordial beasts left behind from the primordial era. For example, the Tao Tai, the Chaos Beast, the Void Beast, and many others. Any one of them could make a saint tremble in fear. Perhaps even Hongjun would take action if he saw the Chaos Beast. Furthermore, none of their sweethearts had broken through to Hongjun's realm. "Master, we're almost there. Not far ahead is the exit of the passageway, which is the entrance to the Dragon Clan." Just as the crowd was saying that it was limited, the golden dragon under Lin Rei's feet quickly reminded them. "Yes." Following that, the crowd shut their mouths and stopped talking. However, their eyes were filled with anticipation as they looked ahead. Of course, other than the 5 people from the Dragon Clan who were frightened, they were, after all, born in the Dragon Clan. Therefore, they had long been tired of such things. Soon, a bright light appeared in front of their eyes. Towards this, a smile appeared on their faces. "Finally, we're finally here." Looking at the entrance of the light, Lin Rei pursed his lips and smiled. He muttered, "Space Origin, wait for me. Wait for me to smelt you a few times and become a part of me. Accompany me to rule the pinnacle of the Tao." Whoosh, just as Lin Rei was feeling impassioned in his heart, a bright light appeared. The light caused Lin Rei to feel a little uncomfortable. He subconsciously closed his eyes. However, in the next moment, Lin Rei slowly opened his eyes again. However, in the next moment, Lin Rei was stunned. At this moment, in the place that Lin Rei's eyes were looking at, a middle-aged man and an elderly man were looking at them with vigilance. Seeing their vigilance, Lin Rei was stunned. Although he was puzzled, he subconsciously activated his vigilance in his body. As long as the two people in front of him dared to make a move, then Lin Rei would fight them with all his strength. Whoosh, whoosh, just as Lin Rei was vigilant, a few air-breaking sounds came from behind him. Without thinking, Lin Rei knew that it was Sakura and the others who came out from the space passage. What's going on? Sakura's voice sounded in his mind. Obviously, he noticed that something was wrong and wanted to ask Lin Rei. However, Lin Rei really wanted to say, how the F***ck would I know? If you ask me, who should I ask? I've been here since I came in. Of course, he thought so in his heart, but he said, I don't know. I only know that these two people have strong cultivations. If I don't use my full strength, I'm afraid I won't be a match for them. That's right, when Lin Rei saw the two of them, he sensed the threat from the huge energy in their bodies. Lin Rei was not an arrogant person, nor was he conceited. Lin Rei did not dare to be the slightest bit careless when facing the two of them. The pressure he felt from the two of them was something that even a Dao fruit saint had never felt. Moreover, he had advanced by a level. Even so, he still felt this way. This was enough to prove that the two of them were not ordinary. Understood. However, if the thoughts of the two of them were known by Ling Long, the Golden Dragon, and the others, they would probably burst out laughing. The scene was extremely oppressive. A smell of gunpowder filled the entire space, as if a battle would break out at any time. Daddy. However, a very prominent voice resounded throughout the entire space, singing in everyone's mind. Daddy? Hearing this voice, Lin Rei could not help but look back. He saw Ling Long, who was sitting on the Crimson Dragon, looking at the middle-aged man who was confronting Lin Rei with a happy smile on her face. Damn, it can't be. This time, Lin Rei had a bad premonition. However, at the same time, this premonition was confirmed by Ling Long. Ling Long soared into the air and flew into the middle-aged man's arms, kissing him. Daddy, why are you here? Did you know that I was going to bring Big Brother and the others back? Damn, no way, this guy is Ling Long's father, the Dragon Emperor of the Dragon race? Lin Rei's eyes widened as he looked at the middle-aged man hugging the terrified man. However, when he thought about the huge energy in the other party's body, he finally understood. That's right, the middle-aged man hugging Ling Long was her father, Long Wuming. After finding out that humans had entered, he had brought the Great Elder here to wait. Big Brother? At this moment, hearing the words of the girl in his arms, Long Wuming raised his head and looked at Lin Rei. Suddenly, a wave of pressure rushed out, bypassing Ling Long and rushing towards Lin Rei. Heh, competing with me in terms of pressure? Sure. Lin Rei did not care about Long Wuming's test. After all, Lin Rei did not think that he would lose in terms of pressure. Chapter 969. Amen? A domineering pressure suddenly appeared. It was as if the pressure was on par with his own. Wuming Dragon was stunned for a moment. Then, he raised his head and looked in the direction of the pressure. It's you? Sensing the pressure that was on par with his own, coming from a human who had entered from the outside world, and coming from the big brother his daughter called, Wuming Dragon could not help but be shocked. It was not only because of the violent and domineering pressure. More importantly, the person who was exerting such pressure was simply too young. Wuming Dragon knew that if he was Lin Rei's age, it would be difficult for him to even enter this place, let alone such a pressure. Slowly, the way Wuming Dragon looked at Lin Rei changed. Perhaps even Wuming Dragon himself did not notice this change. Heh, alright. Then I'll increase the pressure. Let's see how much of this Emperor's pressure you can withstand. With that thought in mind, he suddenly increased the pressure from 50% to 80%. At this moment, even Ling Long, who was in Wuming Dragon's arms, could feel the powerful pressure coming from her father. As the pressure was too strong, even if Wuming Dragon wanted to deliberately push Ling Long away, it was impossible. After all, he had a domineering bulge. This was unavoidable. To Lin Rei, this was even more unavoidable. Looking at Wuming Dragon's expression, Lin Rei's expression became brighter and brighter. It was as if he had found something interesting. Little guy. As Wuming Dragon's pressure increased, Lin Rei naturally did not want to be outdone. Like Wuming Dragon, he increased the pressure until it was on par with Wuming Dragon's. However, he did not surpass him. He wanted to see where Wuming Dragon's limit was. Of course, there was another reason. That was, he felt that Wuming Dragon was fun. Sensing the confrontation between Lin Rei and her father, Ling Long understood. Daddy, don't be like this. Big brother is my guest. If you do this, perhaps it was because she was too angry, but Ling Long did not know what to say. Just like that, after a while, I finally squeezed out a complete sentence. Papa, if you continue to be like this, I will ignore you. I will tell Mother Long and ask her to deal with you. PFFF, Ling Long did not know what was wrong with this sentence. In her opinion, the most important thing now was to make her father withdraw his aura. This was because, in her subconscious mind, her father was very powerful, so powerful that even Lin Rei was no match for him. However, she didn't know that the moment she said that, the Dragon Emperor's face darkened. A feeling of being cheated welled up in his heart. However, he couldn't relax around Lin Rei and the others. In the end, he didn't listen to Ling Long. On the other side, when Sakura and Heavenly Pivot Rabbit heard Xiao Ling Long's words, they did not give the Dragon Emperor Long Wuming any face at all and burst out laughing. After that, they even began to discuss it in front of him without any restraint. Hee, henpecked and henpecked. I really don't know what the status of the Dragon Emperor is at home. That's right. Look at how mighty he is outside as the leader of a clan. But I have to say that henpecked side of him is really, just as the madam was speaking freely, Tian Ning also joined the ranks of unbridled gossip, which was a rare sight. That's right. I didn't expect the leader of the dragon clan, the five-clawed golden dragon, to be a henpecked dragon. This is really unbelievable. Every word and sentence fell into the Dragon Emperor's ears. Looking at the smiles on their faces, an urge to be an adult surged in his heart, especially when he heard the topic of their discussion. His face darkened even more. But now, he couldn't leave, especially when he sensed that Lin Rei's aura had caught up to him and was on par with his. At this moment, he had no choice but to take Lin Rei seriously. You're strong. As he spoke, he looked at Lin Li. It was impossible to tell whether he was happy, angry, sad, or happy. His voice was extremely cold as well. Heh, you too. But what? But are you sure you want to continue like this? Don't you think it's a waste of time? Looking at Long Wuming, Lin Li spoke in a manner that was neither servile nor overbearing. To him, although the Dragon Emperor was different from the saints he had met before, he was only slightly stronger than them, just slightly. Oh? Wuming Long was puzzled. He didn't understand Lin Rei's intention. Then what do you think we should do? Looking at Long Wuming, Lin Li cracked his lips into a grin. Activate your most powerful form. Rather than wasting it like this, why don't you activate your most powerful form and let me experience the aura of an Emperor of the Dragons? Besides, don't you also want to check my limits? This method saves a lot of time. Besides, I hate wasting time the most. So, come on, let me see your strongest form." As he spoke, an aura that looked down on the world uncontrollably emanated from Lin Rei's body. Perhaps it was because of his high position and his strength. Hearing Lin Rei's words, Wu Minglong was stunned. "Heh, young man, don't you think you're exaggerating?" A hint of displeasure appeared on his face. As the Dragon Emperor, he had once traveled the divine world and met the saints and saintesses of the various sacred grounds and sects. He had also met many geniuses. However, there was only one person like Lin Rei. There was no one else. Hearing Lin Rei's words, as someone who didn't know where Lin Rei's limits were, Wu Minglong felt that Lin Rei was exaggerating. Moreover, he didn't know the immensity of heaven and earth. "TSK, how dare you say that? I really want to see the Dragon Emperor's expression now." Are you sure Lin Rei can defeat the Dragon Emperor? Do you think Lin Rei is that strong?" At this moment, the heavenly pivot rabbit's voice sounded in Indra's mind. "Heh, just watch. You'll know in a while." "Oh." Indra didn't pay attention to the heavenly pivot rabbit's words. Others might not know, but as Lin Rei's clone, he knew very well how strong Lin Rei was. He firmly believed that the Dragon Emperor was no match for Lin Rei. Sure enough, after hearing Wu Minglong's words, Lin Rei sneered and felt disdain. He didn't expect the Dragon Emperor to be so shameless. However, he didn't refute. Instead, a smile appeared on his face as he extended his hand and made an inviting gesture. Humph! Seeing Lin Rei's action, the Dragon Emperor was taken aback. A trace of displeasure appeared on his face as he passed Ling Long to the Supreme Elder beside him. "You can still say the same thing in a while, right?" As he spoke, he came to a stop not too far away from Linley, and a look of contempt flashed across his face. With a cold snort, a powerful and destructive pressure instantly engulfed Linley. Naturally, Ing and the others behind Linley couldn't avoid being affected. Bastard! Lin Rei knew very well about this pressure. He didn't feel it himself, but his wife's cultivation was only at the great perfection ultimate god realm. Both of them didn't want him to feel it. At this moment, the two of them were pale. Their bodies were trembling under the pressure. Their legs were bent as if they were about to kneel down and submit. "No. No. Get up. Get up." Feeling the movement of her body, Ying's heart trembled. She quickly bit the tip of her tongue. A wave of pain instantly spread throughout her body. Under the influence of the pain, her expression trembled. She became 100 times more spirited and began to resist the pressure with her cultivation. Although she wasn't as strong as the Dragon Emperor, a great perfection ultimate god wasn't a joke either. Under the pressure of the resistance, her original bending stance was renewed. Bing was the same. In her opinion, only Lin Rei, her former master, was worthy of her worship. No one else could withstand her worship. The Dragon Emperor was shocked by the performance of the Ying and Ing children. He didn't expect the two of them to be able to resist his pressure. "Do you know what I hate the most in my life?" Suddenly, out of the blue, Linley said these words. "What?" The Dragon Emperor subconsciously answered Lin Rei's question. However, at this moment, the Dragon Emperor's face couldn't help but turn solemn. Especially when he saw Lin Rei, who was originally as calm as water, erupting like a volcano. A vigorous and powerful aura burst out of his body. The aura was continuous like a great river. It was frightening. How can this be? The Dragon Emperor was shocked when he sensed Lin Rei's aura. He didn't expect Lin Rei to be so powerful. While the Dragon Emperor was still in shock, Lin Rei's ice-cold voice rang in his mind like the Grim Reaper. This sovereign hates it the most in this sovereign's life when others threaten or harm my loved ones, family, friends, and brothers. But you," raising his head, a bloodthirsty look flashed across his eyes. "And you, As luck would have it, you touched this sovereign's reverse scale, so, destroy. Whoosh, after saying that, Lin Rei's figure faded and completely disappeared before everyone's eyes. What? Seeing Lin Rei's figure disappear, Wuming Long was shocked. His expression was extremely unsightly. Obviously, he didn't expect this to happen. A hint of regret appeared. If he knew things would turn out like this, he wouldn't have. It was too late to say anything now. His only thought now was to fight. As the Dragon Emperor, he could only stand and die. He couldn't beg for mercy and run away. This was the dignity of the Dragon Clan. Their innate dignity couldn't be ignored. Big Brother, at the side, seeing that the Dragon Emperor angrily wanted her father to be destroyed, Ling Long hesitated. She knew that this matter was her father's fault, but she didn't want to see the two of them killing each other. Those who touch my reverse scale will die. A cold murderous aura suddenly appeared behind the Dragon Emperor. As a dragon expert, he naturally couldn't be so weak and be killed by Lin Rei in an instant. Humph, you don't have the ability to destroy me. Sensing the cold aura behind him, Wuming Long was shocked. He didn't understand how Lin Rei could run behind him without him noticing, but he knew that if he wasn't especially sensitive to murderous aura, he wouldn't be much better off even if he wasn't dead. Heh, won't you know if I can do it later? Lin Rei wasn't surprised that the Dragon Emperor had discovered him. It would be surprising if he didn't. Moreover, he didn't want the Dragon Emperor to be so weak. After all, that would be too boring. If the Dragon Emperor knew what Lin Rei was thinking, he would probably be so angry that he would fight him to the death. However, it seemed as though they were already fighting to the death. In response, the Dragon Emperor flipped his hand, grabbed Lin Lei's wrist, and tossed him into the distance. Physical strength? Lin Rei, who was thrown away by Wuming Long, could feel that the Dragon Emperor didn't use his cultivation just now. He only used his physical strength. Humph, you dare to behave atrociously in my dragon tribe? You're still too inexperienced. If you leave now, I can still let you go. I guarantee that I won't attack you. I won't touch you when you leave. How about it? Although on the surface, it seemed that the dragon tribe was righteous and Wuming Long was benevolent, who knew that Wuming Long was afraid? Although it was just one move, he could tell that he wasn't a match for the person in front of him. However, if he chose to let go, would Lin Rei do the same? The answer was of course not. In Lin Rei's eyes, Wuming Long had already touched his secret realm. His words were taboo. Anyone who touched his bottom line would die. After being thrown 100 zhang away by Wuming Long, Lin Rei forced himself to stop. He raised his head and sneered. Let me go. Humph, please get your facts straight. The one who won't let you go now is me, not you. So, keep your words and accept my judgment obediently. Moreover, although the dragon tribe is born with a strong physical body, unfortunately, I also cultivate my physical body. Since you want to use your physical body, I'll kill you in your area of expertise so that you can die in peace. Bang! Lin Rei said. At this moment, Lin Rei withdrew his cultivation and revealed his physical body. A stream of light appeared on the surface of Lin Rei's body. The light was sacred. However, if one were to sense it carefully, one would be able to feel that the light was filled with tyranny and violence. You actually, don't be shocked. You'll be even more shocked later. After saying that, Lin Rei didn't waste any more time. His figure instantly moved. Lin Rei didn't use his cultivation. But even so, how could Wuming Long resist Lin Rei, who was already a half-saint? Bastard, get out of my way. Wuming Long was in a difficult position. Looking at the fist that was close to him, Wuming Long did not dodge. Instead, he swung his fist like Lin Rei. At this moment, he used all of his physical strength. After witnessing Lin Rei's strong cultivation, he didn't dare to be careless. Bang! A loud collision sound rang out. The aftermath of the battle filled the surroundings. This scene stunned everyone present, especially the Supreme Elder who was holding Ling Long. How is this possible? A human could cultivate his physical body to such a level? How is this possible? This guy, how is his physical strength so strong? Motherf *Ker, even the favored children of heaven and earth aren't like you? Seeing how strong Lin Rei was, Dubhe Rabbit was also furious. Bang! 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 Next, a feast of fists to fists unfolded before everyone. A battle of pure physical strength. This was an extremely rare scene. However, to everyone's disappointment, at the beginning of the battle, they were still able to see the battle clearly. However, as time passed, the speed of the two gradually increased. In the end, the crowd could only see afterimages flashing before them. The only thing that the crowd could hear was the sound of their fists colliding. Daddy, big brother, you, stop fighting. Ling Long doesn't want to see you two fighting. Chapter 970. Be it Lin Rei or Wuming Long, neither of them could hear Xiao Ling Long's pleading voice at this moment. In their eyes, there was only each other and the question of victory or defeat. As the Dragon Emperor, the leader of a clan, he did not wish to lose to a human. As the leader of a sect, Lin Rei, who desired to reach the peak of the Tao, naturally had his own pride. It was normal for him to not admit defeat. However, Lin Rei had already acknowledged the strength of Wuming Long's physical body. In the past, Wuming Long was the one with the strongest physical body he had ever seen. Therefore, Lin Rei was interested. Otherwise, he would not have battled for such a long time. In the blink of an eye, 1,000 moves had passed. The two were still in a stalemate. To outsiders, the two were evenly matched and neither could do anything to the other. However, in reality, Wuming Long was suffering unspeakable bitterness. Facing such a strong opponent like Lin Rei, he was starting to regret. Sure, there was no medicine for regret in this world. Otherwise, he would have gone and bought a dozen. Bam, whoosh, after a collision, the two retreated several hundred feet before coming to a stop. How is it? Do you still want to continue competing with physical bodies? Looking at Wuming Long, Lin Rei curled his lips and said with interest. In the distance, seeing Lin Rei in such a state, Wuming Long was furious. He wanted to attack, but he knew that he might not be a match for Lin Rei. Furthermore, a heart-wrenching pain came from his hands and body. This pain was indescribable. This was the first time he felt pain after becoming the Dragon Emperor. This pain came from Lin Rei's battle. During the battle, the two's fists landed on each other's flesh. As for whether Lin Rei was in pain, Wuming Long did not know. However, he knew that when Lin Rei's fists landed on his body, it was like a 1,000,000-pound hammer, making him breathless. Because he was fighting just now, he could not care about that. However, now that he was out of the battle range, the pain came crashing down like a tidal wave. Hiss. Wuming Long sucked in a mouthful of cold air. His expression was extremely ugly. He found it hard to accept that a human's physical body was stronger than his, a dragon. Alright, this sovereign does not like wasting time. Come, show me your full cultivation. Let's settle this in one go. At this moment, Lin Rei was serious. Just like he said, although he could defeat Wuming Long like before, it was too much of a waste of time. He did not like that. Wuming Long was his goal. Humph, as you wish. When Wuming Long, Wuming's. After all, Wuming Long's, his was Wuming, boom, all of a sudden, a violent aura gushed out from Wuming Long's body. A 3-foot-long cold sword appeared in his hand. The sword was 3 fingers wide, and there was an image of a flying dragon on it. It was so lifelike that it looked like a real dragon. The cold killing intent it exuded caused all living beings in the surroundings to tremble. Good sword. Seeing the sword in Wuming Dragon's hands, Linley's eyes flashed with a bright light. Although he primarily trained in combat techniques, not sword techniques, in the face of such a peerless sword, he still couldn't help but open his mouth to praise it. Thank you. Next, I'm going to use the most powerful sword technique of my dragon clan, the Cosmos Sword Codex. This is a set of sword techniques comprehended by my dragon clan's old ancestor. It's very powerful. Once it's used, there's no room for retreat. So, take this. One move to determine the victor. Life and death will be determined in a second. Alright, as you wish. This request was exactly what Lin Rei wanted. Lin Rei did not reject it. In fact, Lin Rei also wanted to use the combat technique he comprehended from his bloodline. He originally thought that it would take a long time to use it. But now, with such a powerful opponent like the Dragon Emperor, it would be a waste of such a powerful combat technique if he did not use it. Cosmos Sword Codex, Life Extinguishing. Wuming Long raised his sword above his head, accumulating strength and waiting to give Lin Rei a fatal blow. He was going all out at this moment. Humph, you're just trying to gain favor. Lin Rei did not hesitate at all when facing Wuming Long. He could not wait to kill this person who threatened his wife, a dragon. Sigh, I didn't expect the Dragon Emperor to use life extinguishing. It seems that this young man is indeed very strong to be able to force the Dragon Emperor to such a state. The younger generation will surpass us in time. At this moment, the Supreme Elder who was watching from afar was shocked when he saw Wuming Long's combat technique. As the Supreme Elder of the Dragon Clan, he naturally knew how powerful the Cosmos Sword Codex was. Life Extinguishing was one of the few ultimate moves in the Cosmos Sword Codex. Perhaps because the level of the Cosmos Sword Codex was too high, Wuming Long could not use all of it. Grandpa Supreme, are Luo Luo and Big Brother okay? Ling Long is scared. A weak voice entered the Supreme Elder's ears. His heart trembled and he quickly comforted her. Don't worry, your papa is fine. As for you, Big Brother, he will continue to be punished by the Dragon Emperor because he intruded into the Dragon Clan. No, I don't want anything to happen to the two of them. Although Ling Long was still young, she knew a lot of things when she heard this. However, she was in the Supreme Elder's arms at this moment. Even if she wanted to stop him, she could not. An idea came to her mind, and a smile appeared on her face. Grandpa Supreme, let me down. I want to sit and watch. What? Hearing Ling Long's request, the Supreme Elder was speechless. However, he still agreed to the little princess's request. Alright, but don't run around. Otherwise, it will be dangerous. Do you understand? Yes, I understand, Grandpa Supreme. In the end, under the Supreme Elder's repeated warnings, Ling Long left the Supreme Elder's embrace and went behind him to find a clean rock to sit down on. Yes. That's good. As for Exquisite, the High Elder wasn't completely at ease. He used his divine sense to observe Exquisite for a long time. Only after confirming that she didn't react at all did the High Elder retract his divine sense in satisfaction, focusing all of his attention on the final battle between Linley and Long Wuming. He did not want to give up on such a shocking battle. Although he was only a spectator, he would be able to comprehend some things that could help him break through from this battle. The situation became more and more tense. The surrounding people were so nervous that they held their breaths, as if they were afraid that the sound of their breathing would affect the battle between the two. Come, let me see how powerful your Cosmos Sword Codex is. Let me see if it is really as powerful as you said. Alright, since you want to see, I'll show you to your heart's content. Suddenly, Wuming Dragon's eyes turned cold, and a murderous aura suddenly exploded out from him. His body instantly shot towards Linley, moving so fast that even Linley, seeing this, couldn't help but narrow his eyes, feeling a hint of surprise in his heart. Bloodline power, activate. Profound armor, activate. Bloodline battle technique, heaven punishing. Seeing the imposing manner of Long Wuming rushing towards him, Lin Rei unhurriedly activated his bloodline power. Suddenly, a purple aura instantly broke through Lin Rei's body. It was similar to when he awakened his bloodline. However, the purple mist this time was not as dense as when he awakened his bloodline. This, the one who awakened his bloodline, is Lin Rei? When the Dubhe rabbit saw Lin Rei's action, its pupils abruptly shrunk. A trace of shock emerged. No one said it wasn't? Looking at the Dubhe rabbit, Sakura said indifferently. Shoo, don't talk. Watch carefully. Just when the Dubhe rabbit wanted to ask something, Sakura shushed it, leaving it speechless. At this moment, everyone's eyes were focused on Lin Rei and Long Wuming. They stared at them without blinking, as if they were afraid of seeing something. What? Wuming Dragon, who was charging towards Linley, suddenly felt a terrifying aura sweep towards him. What shocked Wuming Dragon even more was that under the influence of this aura, the Qiankuan Sword Sutra's ceasing/arising technique actually began to tremble slightly. Although it was only a slight tremble, Wuming Dragon could still sense it. Rumble, the sky darkened. Originally, the sky was clear and bright. However, at this moment, the instant Lin Rei used heaven punishing, dark clouds covered the sky, instantly enveloping all the light. The sound of thunder slowly grew louder and louder. It was so deafening that people could not help but cover their ears, unwilling to listen to it. Cool. Feeling the change in appearance because of him, there was only one word in Lin Rei's mind: cool. He did not expect that a mere bloodline skill would be able to cause the aura and weather to change. This made Lin Rei want to understand his own bloodline even more. No, impossible. You can't be stronger than me. Die. Looking at Lin Rei, Wuming Dragon rushed in front of Lin Rei like a madman and slashed at Lin Rei with ceasing and arising. Humph, we don't know who will die yet. Heaven punishing. Lin Rei moved. Waving his arm, Lin Rei's fist turned into a hand knife, dodging Wuming Dragon's ceasing and arising. One hand quickly rushed out and grabbed Wuming Dragon's neck, while the other hand rushed towards Wuming Dragon's heart with heaven punishing. As the saying went, killing with one move was crucial. He did not like Wuming Dragon's flashy move, and he did not care to use it. No. Seeing that Linley had dodged his strongest attack, and at the same time, an aura of death had surged into his heart. Seeing Linley's knife hand slash towards his heart with immense killing intent, he wanted to stop it, but he discovered that he was powerless. At that moment, he discovered that he was unable to keep up with Linley's speed. Don't struggle. Die. With a sneer, he increased his speed and rushed towards Wuming Dragon. How is this possible? Who is this Lin Rei? How can he dodge the ceasing and arising sword? In the distance, seeing that Lin Rei was safe and sound and was about to hit Wuming Dragon, the supreme elder of the Dragon Clan was shocked. He originally thought that Lin Rei would not be able to block the ceasing and arising sword. But now, not only did he dodge it, he even wanted to hit the Dragon Emperor. This made the Supreme Elder's heart jump to his throat. Once the Dragon Emperor of the Dragon Clan died, they had to choose the next Dragon Emperor. If they couldn't choose the next Dragon Emperor, then the only thing waiting for the Dragon Clan was to tear apart and kill each other. Sigh, it's over. The Dragon Clan is finished. Lowering his head, the Supreme Elder did not dare to watch anymore. He did not have the courage to do so. Big brother, no. What the Supreme Elder did not notice was that Ling Long, who lived beside him, was very happy when she saw that Lin Rei dodged her father's killing move. But now, what would her father do? Seeing that Lin Rei's hand was about to pierce through Wuming Dragon's chest, Ling Long's figure disappeared on the spot with an unknown strength. Big brother, no. Don't kill my father. I beg you. Because of her cultivation, Ling Long did not have that kind of speed. At this moment, she only came close to Lin Rei, released her cultivation, and begged Lin Rei. In her eyes, tears flowed uncontrollably like 3,000 feet of flowing water. They were more and more unstoppable. At this moment, Lin Rei's heaven-punishing sword was already in front of Wuming Dragon's chest. Just a finger's distance and Wuming Dragon's heart would be pierced and he would die. But at this moment, Lin Rei's hand suddenly stopped in the air and did not move any closer to Wuming Dragon. Turning his head around, Lin Rei looked to Ling Long. Seeing her, a look of realization appeared on his face. No, it's not Lin Rei said his son's name. Because of the fact that Ling Long's eyes were similar to Jinen's when he was young, he subconsciously thought that she was his son. However, he immediately reacted and denied that thought. N died long ago. You are. Ling Long. Finally, Chu Feng reacted and saw that the person who stopped him was Wuming Dragon's daughter. Ling Long. Seeing her, Lin Rei frowned. With a displeased expression, he said, "What are you trying to do? Do you know what the price of stopping this exalted is?" Big brother, It was the first time she had seen Lin Rei looking at her in such a manner. At this moment, Ling Long took several steps back in fear. No, don't understand my daughter. If you want to kill, then kill me. Don't. I beg you, don't touch my daughter. I beg you. At this moment, Wuming Dragon started to panic. He started to cry. He was afraid that Lin Rei would instantly kill Ling Long in a fit of anger. As the saying goes, men do not easily shed tears. I merely haven't been deeply hurt. At this moment, Wuming Dragon was crying and begging for forgiveness. Seeing Ling Long and Wuming Dragon, Lin Rei sighed in his heart. The killing intent in his heart had greatly disappeared. The reason for that was because he had experienced this scene before. Back in the Water Ridge village, his wife and son had encountered monstrous beasts. It was the exact same scene. Sigh. Chu Feng let out a long sigh and released his grip on Wuming Dragon's neck. The heaven-punishing technique dispersed. Immediately, the surrounding space that was covered in darkness regained its brightness. The Supreme Elder, who had been shocked by this scene, came back to his senses. With a face full of lingering fear, he rushed to Ling Long's side and held her in his arms. Little girl, don't you know what kind of occasion this is? If something were to happen to you, how am I supposed to explain myself? His tone was filled with criticism. However, he was looking at Ling Long with a doting expression. Grandpa, Daddy is fine now. Ling Long did not take the Supreme Elder's criticism to heart at all. At this moment, she was extremely happy. The reason for that was because her father would not have to die. That's right. After saying those words, he was very confused. Originally, he thought that Wuming Dragon was definitely going to die. Never did he expect that there would be a turn of events. However, this was also good. Needless to say, the Dragon Monarch of the Dragon Clan would not fall apart. You're not going to kill me? Chapter 971. He looked at Wuming Dragon. Linley didn't know the answer to this question either. Originally, there was no other way to quench his rage towards Wuming Dragon apart from death. But when he saw those familiar eyes of exquisites, his heart softened. Perhaps it was because Ling Long and Jin En's expressions were very similar that he mistook her for Jin En. That was why he let Wu Minglong go. Lin Rei naturally would not say this. Although he missed Jin En very much, he knew very well that Ling Long was not Jin En. She was his deceased son. Looking at Wu Ming Dragon, Lin Li's face was cold and emotionless, as though he was a dead man. The feeling he gave off was that of heartlessness. Forget it. I'll let you off this time. However, while you can avoid the death penalty, you can't escape punishment. Everyone has to be responsible for the things they have done. So, what? Wu Minglong was stunned, but he was relieved. As long as he did not say anything else, it did not matter. This time, I came to Xianming Valley to find the spatial origin. So, although you don't have to die, you have 3 days to find the location of the spatial origin. If you can find it, today's matter will be over. However, if you can't find it, you will have to bear the consequences. I think I don't need to tell you what the consequences will be. Of course, after 3 days, even if Ling Long pleads for mercy, it will be useless. Because, you will no longer have the chance. Spatial origin? Hearing Lin Li's instructions, Wu Minglong frowned, and his face grew solemn. In his mind, one image after another flashed through his mind. He was very familiar with the essence of space, but he had never seen it in Xuanwu Valley. No, that's not right. Could it be, as if he thought of something, Wu Minglong was shocked. His frowning brows slowly relaxed. What? You know where the spatial origin is? Lin Rei, who had been observing the changes in Wu Minglong's expression, was stunned. He quickly asked. He wanted nothing more than to find the spatial origin immediately and subdue it to break through. Right now, he could not wait to enter the saint's world and enter the sacred cultivation ground that was even more grateful to him. Of course, the most important thing was that time was very tight. Once he obtained the origin of space, he still had to refine it. As such, he needed time. He wasn't sure if he could successfully refine it in a few hundred years. Now, he could only try his best to be as precise as possible. He raised his head and looked at Lin Rei. Maybe it's the origin of space you mentioned. I'm just not sure. Oh. Lin Rei was greatly surprised. Originally, he had been asked to look for it. Whether he could find it or not was another matter. But unexpectedly, the blind cat really touched the dead mouse and guessed correctly. Yes, that's right. Upon seeing Lin Rei's interest, Long Wuming explained what happened a while ago. This is what happened. A while ago, someone came to our dragon race and told us to migrate here. Just like that, he recounted everything that had happened to the dragon clan without missing a single word. A few minutes later, just like that, our dragon race has been having a hard time. We are powerless against that mysterious person. We were already prepared to fight to the death. A look of regret and sorrow flashed across Long Wuming's face. Lin Rei, who observed Long Wuming's expression, knew that he didn't think he was lying. Perhaps you might not realize that someone was lying to you, but one's expression couldn't lie. As for the mysterious person mentioned by Long Wuming, although Lin Rei didn't know if it was the origin of space, Lin Rei had a feeling that as long as he could find that mysterious person, he might be able to get close to the origin of space or find it directly. With that thought in mind, Lin Rei lifted his head, looked at Long Wuming, and said, "When did that person come? How strong is he? What are his characteristics?" Lin Rei asked a series of questions. At that moment, Lin Rei couldn't wait to meet that mysterious person. Ugh. About that, I'm not too sure. Long Wuming said weakly, but as though afraid that Lin Rei would be upset, he quickly added, "But I believe that he will be here soon because he said that it won't take long. He should be here soon." I see. Hearing these words, a hint of disappointment flashed through Lin Li's eyes, but he quickly adjusted his emotions. That's fine as well. I'll take advantage of this period of time to train in spatial techniques, so as to prepare myself for capturing the spatial prime essences. With that thought in mind, Lin Rei lifted his head and said to Long Wuming, Chief Long, I'm going to rest here for a while. Once the matter is resolved, I'll turn back and leave. What do you think? No problem, no problem, no problem. At that moment, Long Wuming's gloomy mood was swept away. Even the bad mood of being beaten up by Lin Rei vanished in an instant. What replaced it was also a bright and cheerful mood. After all, that mysterious person wanted someone to deal with him. How could he not be happy? Ugh. Seeing Long Wuming so happy, Lin Rei shook his head speechlessly and did not mind. Oh, that's right. During this time, don't let anyone disturb me. After speaking, without waiting for Long Wuming to reply, Lin Li turned to look at the golden dragon behind him and said, during this period of time, you will stay here and help protect us. Just as I said earlier, if anyone dares to trespass, kill them without mercy. You don't have to wait for me to report it. Just attack. Yes, master. This subordinate obeys. That was what he said to Lin Rei. How about the golden dragon? You've had enough. He immediately nodded and agreed. Lin Rei's actions shocked Long Wuming even more. As Long Wuming's best buddy, the golden dragon actually addressed the young man before him as master with such a respectful expression. For a moment, Long Wuming thought that he had recognized the wrong person. However, upon closer inspection, it was indeed the case. However, although he was shocked, he would not ask for trouble at this time. After all, who knew what would happen in the next moment? If he said something wrong, he would not even know when his head would move. Well, in that case. Seeing that the golden dragon had received his order, Lin Rei smiled and turned to look at Long Wuming. He said, Dragon Clan leader, do you want to arrange a quiet place for us to rest now? As for that mysterious person you're talking about, inform me when he comes, understand? Ugh, understood. Don't worry. Long Wuming nodded his head stiffly. Please. Just like that, Lin Rei settled down in the Dragon Clan and lived a good life every day. Of course, this was only for Sakura and the others. As for Lin Rei, after settling down in the Dragon Clan, he also devoted himself to the cultivation of the space technique. As for the place arranged by Long Wuming, Lin Rei was also very satisfied. One had to admit that Long Wuming was very good at doing things. In order to satisfy Lin Rei's request, he actually arranged for them to stay in the Dragon Clan's sacred land for the first time. As for the 3-day deadline given by Lin Rei, because of that mysterious master, the 3-day deadline was also nullified. In the Dragon Clan's sacred land, Sakura, Tian Ning and the others were chatting and sunbathing every day. There was basically nothing to do. It was not that they did not want to, but they really did not know what to do. As people who had reached the peak of the divine world, the most important thing for them now was not to cultivate, but to comprehend the laws. Only then could they proceed to the next breakthrough. Of course, this was for Sakura. As for Tian Ning, she belonged to the laws, so she did not need to. Their current life was to chat, eat good food, sunbathe, and wait for Lin Rei to wake up and subdue the space source energy. In the blink of an eye, 3 months had passed since Lin Rei arrived at the Dragon Clan. In these 3 months, Lin Rei waited for a long time. However, in view of the fact that the mysterious master had not come, Lin Rei could only go in and cultivate. In the past 3 months, the Golden Dragon and the other 4 dragons had been guarding the entrance of the sacred land. According to Lin Rei's orders, they did not allow anyone to come and cause trouble, not even Ling Long came a few times in the middle, but every time she was stopped by the Golden Dragon at the entrance. In the end, she could only choose to give up. She also tried to use Lin Rei to threaten the Golden Dragon, but in the end, the golden dragon was indifferent. Ling Long was very helpless about this and had no choice but to leave. Lin Rei, who was cultivating, did not know about this. Of course, even if he knew, he would not say anything. Boom! A muffled sound rang in Lin Rei's mind. Then, a smile appeared on his face. He opened his eyes and his expression was full of excitement. Ding! Congratulations to host for 2 breakthroughs. This is a big gift package as a reward for host. I hope host can continue to work hard and reach the next level. Ding! Congratulations to host for breaking through to the 1st grade saint level. Host is rewarded with a Hongmeng Talisman Dao Enlightenment. Ding! Congratulations to host for breaking through to the 1st grade saint level. Host is rewarded with a Hongmeng Talisman Dao Enlightenment. Ding! Discovered Hongmeng Talisman Dao Enlightenment. Host, do you want to learn it? Reply within 30 seconds. If there is no reply within 30 seconds, the system will decide that host will give up and the Hongmeng Talisman Dao Enlightenment will disintegrate the system. 29, damn, are you kidding me? This time, Lin Rei was dumbfounded. He did not expect the system to be so shameless. What did it mean by giving up the initiative if he did not reply? Did not reply mean that he had confirmed it? Have you never heard that silence is golden? Although this was what he thought, he still replied to the system, learn. Ding! Currently transmitting the contents of Hongmeng Talisman Dao Enlightenment into host's mind. Ding! Discovered the Grand Mist Way of Tools Quintessence. Host, would you like to learn it? You will recover within 30 seconds. If you do not reply within 30 seconds, the system will determine that the host has voluntarily given up. As such, the Grand Mist Way of Tools Quintessence will automatically disintegrate. Hearing the system's words, Lin Rei was completely speechless. He really did not like the system's way of repeating itself, but there was nothing he could do about it. This kind of situation was like I like it when you look at me but can't kill me. It was very painful. Accept. Ding! Host, please wait a moment. The system is currently analyzing the Hongmeng Talisman Dao Enlightenment. After 6 hours, the system will automatically transmit the information to the host. Host, please accept it. Hearing this, Lin Rei rolled his eyes and shook his head helplessly. It's finally over. Thinking about it, breaking through these 2 realms was also very unexpected. If it wasn't for the spatial technique, it would have taken a long time for him to break through the talisman and Talisman Dao Enlightenment. System, check all the information of this sovereign. Okay, please wait a moment. After receiving Lin Rei's order, the system responded. In the next moment, a huge screen appeared in front of Lin Rei. It was filled with Lin Rei's information. Name, Lin Rei. Age, 3, 793. System level, 4. Cultivation level, peak late reverend stage experience, 158364872. Mythical dragons, 2 billion mythical dragons, spiritual roots, thunder, fire, wood, metal chaos. Spiritual roots talent, Dao fruit saint. Great circle cultivation technique, chaos scripture level 4, incomplete, devouring heavenly technique, growable. Hongmeng alchemy, entry-level cultivation technique, cloud formula, emperor level cultivation technique, same formation, emperor level. Cultivation technique, tyrant body technique, emperor level cultivation technique, thunder tyrant body, master level secret technique, thunder scripture, god level cultivation technique, martial technique, butterfly steps, entry level, stellar finger, proficient, silent thunder spear art, high mystic level martial technique, now cultivated to entry level, can produce 3 lightning bolts, myriad sword art, heaven level, level 3 incineration, emperor level, dragon subduing step, emperor level, Azura spear art, king level, Shura sword formation, king level, divine transformation, emperor level, colored glaze, lower sacred level, thousand illusions, lower sacred level, spiritual treasure, chaos dragon spear, supreme grade divine artifact, martial emperor divine spear, lower sacred level divine artifact, growable, 10,000 magic sword, ungraded, 10,000 beasts treasure furnace, heavenly temple, upper grade immortal artifact, universe Huayu, lower sacred level divine artifact, demon subduing sword, lower sacred level divine artifact, universe cauldron, lower sacred level divine artifact, equipment, flowing light supreme grade set mount, middle stage supreme god lucky draw wheel, 0 character lottery system, 0 times reputation, 0 points, 340,000 spiritual stones, 0 lower sacred level alchemist, 1824 mythical dragons, 10,000 mythical dragons, sacred level array master, 134 mythical dragons, 10,000 mythical dragons, sacred level weapon craftsman, 1536 mythical dragons, 10,000 mythical dragons, sacred level symbol master, 186 mythical dragons, 10,000 mythical dragons, top level spiritual herbs, none heavenly treasures, none mission, main mission, enter the holy world within 1,000 years. Side mission, refine the heaven-reaching tower. Medicinal pills, 11 mind control pills, 5639 mind control pills, TSK, 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 with this information, you are already invincible in the divine world. But in the holy world, in front of the real experts, you are still like an ant, petty, pitiful. The little dragon's voice appeared in Lin Rei's expectation. Lin Rei was not surprised because he knew that the little dragon would appear at this time, and its words would not be pleasant to the ears. He was already used to this. After all, they had lived together for such a long time and fought side by side for such a long time. It would be strange if he did not understand this. Seeing the little dragon's figure appear, Lin Rei raised his head and looked at it. His expression did not change in the slightest. I have heard enough. Tell me your opinion. Don't tell me that you came out to insult me. Hearing this, Xiaolong was stunned. Looking at Lin Li's calm face, his original playful mood disappeared, and a helpless expression appeared on his face. You little brat, if only you could be a little more humorous. Alright, let's get down to business. Sigh. Seeing that its words were interrupted, the little dragon was not angry. It only sighed and then said with a serious face, I feel the aura of the space origin. It seems to be approaching at this moment, but it will take some time to reach here, so you don't have to worry. Chapter 972. Within Lin Li's sacred land of the Dragon Clan, at the entrance to an estate, a young man walked out of the estate. He stood at the entrance of the estate, staring at the beautiful sunlight and the clear skies. He was in an extremely good mood, and a smile appeared on his face. Now that I have broken through to the first grade of the Saint Realm in the Tao of Formation, Artifact, Pill, and Talisman, it will be impossible for me to break through again in the near future. Thinking of this, he could not help but feel disappointed. However, he was still disappointed. Lin Rei was already very satisfied to be able to break through to such a level in such a short period of time. However, that was how the human heart was. There was always a mountain higher than the mountain, so, you really don't know how to be satisfied. The little dragon's voice sounded in Lin Rei's mind. Other people need tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands or hundreds of thousands of years to break through one Tao. You can even break through to the Saint Realm in all 4 Taos at the age of 3,000. Are you still not satisfied? The more the little dragon spoke, the more excited he became. Moreover, you are not even 4,000 years old. If those old guys in the Holy World or even the Hongmeng realm knew about this, I'm afraid they would be so angry that they would come down and kill you. Lin Rei did not know what to say when the little dragon was so excited. He was just thinking about it. He did not expect the little dragon to be so excited. At this moment, the little dragon might have realized that he was too excited. He quickly changed the topic. Now that you have broken through to the Saint Realm in 4 days, don't cultivate for the time being. As for your cultivation level, wait until you refine the space origin. It will also increase to the Saint Realm. Then now Hearing the little dragon's words, Lin Rei knew that the little dragon must have arranged his main path. Compared to Lin Rei was not pretentious. After all, the little dragon could be said to be half his master. Body tempering. Your body has already broken through to the half-saint realm. If you can break through to the saint realm before entering the holy world, then it will be much more convenient when you enter the holy world. It will also be more convenient for your future cultivation. What do you think? Yes, I think it's fine. Lin Rei felt that little dragon's analysis was very reasonable. In fact, that was what he thought as well. However, there was one point that little dragon might have overlooked. His current physical body was already very strong. Therefore, there was nothing in the divine realm that could threaten him enough to make him break through the realm of physical body. Therefore, regarding how to make a breakthrough in physical body evolution, Lin Rei still had to think carefully. After all, breaking through the realm of physical body into the saint realm was not something that could be achieved just by talking about it. It required an opportunity, the right time, the right place, and the right people. Yes, you're right. There's basically nothing in the God realm that can help you improve your physical body. Damn it, you're peeping at my thoughts again, He wanted to defend himself, but he couldn't say anything because he realized that he had no reason to defend himself. You scoundrel, didn't we agree that I would let you search for talent? You actually went back on your word. I don't care. In order to make up for my wounded heart, you must help me subdue the space source this time. Otherwise, I won't talk to you anymore. I'm so scared. Looking at Lin Rei, the little dragon revealed a scared expression. But in the next moment, his expression changed and he said, I can't agree to your request. You still have to do this. This is the best opportunity for you to gain experience. It just so happens that I can use the space source to test how strong you really are. After saying that, without waiting for Lin Rei to say anything, the little dragon continued, Alright, this matter will end here. Remember, in these 2 days, the space source might enter the dragon clan. So, do your best, child. I have high hopes for you. After saying that, the little dragon's figure faded and finally disappeared in front of Lin Rei. Damn it, you're not being a good friend. Although Lin Rei had already guessed that the little dragon wouldn't help him, Lin Rei still felt somewhat unhappy when he heard him say that. Forget it. Come to think of it, every time his life was in danger, the little dragon would always come out to help at the first moment. Because of this, the little dragon had almost died several times. Moreover, the most important thing was that Lin Rei felt that the little dragon's words were very reasonable. Until now, he still didn't know where the limit of his fighting strength was. He was also very curious about this point. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope this time I can fight to my heart's content. As for the other things, who cares, I'd like to see where my limit is. After saying that, Lin Rei looked as if he was eager to fight, as if he couldn't wait for the upcoming battle. Recovering from his excitement, he looked up at the sky. Such a beautiful weather, thinking that he hadn't lived an ordinary life with his wife for a long time, his interest was piqued. Since the space source hasn't arrived in these 2 days, living an ordinary life for 2 days might be good for the state of mind. After talking to himself, a smile appeared on his face, and he walked down the mountain. Lin Rei was at a mountain peak in the depths of the Dragon Clan's holy land. The mountain peak wasn't very high, and it looked no different from an ordinary mountain in the secular world. Of course, if there was really a difference, it would be that this seemingly ordinary mountain peak was very rich in spiritual energy, much stronger than the mountains in the secular world. Speaking of which, it was strange. Originally, Ying and Ling had been guarding the entrance of the mountain to protect Lin Rei, but today, they didn't appear at the entrance of the cave, which made Lin Rei very confused. Although Lin Rei was in seclusion, he was still very clear about the situation at the entrance of the cave. However, Lin Rei wasn't worried about Ying and Ling at all, because in the entire Dragon Clan, except for some high-level elders, the Dragon Emperor and the Supreme Elder, no one else could threaten Ying and Ling at all. Therefore, Lin Rei wasn't worried about the two's comfort at all. As for the Dragon Emperor and the others, Lin Rei believed that they didn't have the courage, because the Dragon Emperor's defeat was bound to spread to the entire Dragon Clan, so Lin Rei wasn't worried. Without using his cultivation, walking on the mountain path and looking at the beautiful scenery around him, Lin Rei's mood became better and better. There's actually a wild emperor mushroom? Just as Lin Rei was looking around and admiring the scenery, a fist-sized mushroom-like plant hidden under the bushes appeared in front of Lin Rei's eyes. However, this mushroom was still a little different from ordinary mushrooms. On this emperor mushroom, there were faint traces of golden runes growing on it. Taking a step forward, Lin Rei pushed aside the bushes and reached out to pick the emperor mushroom. After taking a closer look, the smile on his face became even wider. I didn't expect that this kind of place would have this kind of wild emperor mushroom, it's really good. With this kind of wild emperor mushroom, if two old hens come and stew them together, tsk, 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 the taste is really, hiss. At this moment, Linley felt as though he could already see the chicken soup in front of him. The rich aroma of the soup rushed into his nostrils. If there was someone else here who saw Lin Rei's expression at this moment, they would probably be shocked to death. Because at this moment, Lin Rei could be said to have transformed into a gourmet expert. Since I already have the emperor mushroom, if I find some rare ingredients, then... Thinking about it, Lin Rei was very excited, and he set out wisely. This time, Linley didn't use his cultivation base. Instead, he acted like an ordinary mortal. He walked through the mountains, looking left and right. Here, there, he searched for ingredients to make a meal. But Lin Rei didn't know that not long after he walked out of the cave, Ying and Bing arrived. The two of them basically came at the same time. When the two returned to the entrance of the cave, they felt that their husband's aura was still not in the cave, and for a moment, they panicked. Perhaps it was because of their worries, the two of them didn't even think about it and directly rushed towards the direction of the 10th heaven. In contrast, Lin Rei didn't know anything. At this moment, he was beside a stream, and in his hand, he was holding a dazzling array of ingredients for cooking. It could be said that there was a dazzling array of ingredients. If it wasn't for the fact that Linley was a late-stage godly exalt, most people would have thought that he was just an ordinary mortal. Squatting beside the stream, his face was full of smiles, looking at the harvest in his hand, Lin Rei was very satisfied. What a pity, how good would it be if this kind of life could continue forever? This kind of thought flashed through his mind, and then he shook his head fiercely to discard it. He knew that this kind of thought could only be said to be an extravagant hope, and it was basically impossible to realize. Forget it, one day at a time. He raised his head and looked at the stream. The water was very clear, and there were a lot of fish in it. Looking at the big fish swimming around, in Lin Rei's eyes, they were the ingredients on his chopping board, the ingredients in his pot, and the food in his bowl. Dragon fish, sure enough, none of them are ordinary in the Dragon Clan. He smiled, put the things in his hand aside, took off his shirt, and plunged into the water, starting a chase between man and beast. However, Lin Rei was very depressed. Although his cultivation was gone, his body was still there. Who would have thought that Lin Rei would not be able to catch a single fish after diving into the water, which made him, a hierarch cultivator, feel very embarrassed. Damn, can you still do it, you bastard? This time, Lin Rei was angry. Even sage Lin Rei would not be in such a difficult situation, but he was fooled by the dragon fish, which made him very unhappy. He didn't activate his physical body, nor did he cultivate. Just like that, Lin Li spent half a day with the body of an ordinary person. Finally, he got what he wanted. A 1-meter-long arowana appeared in Lin Li's arms. Looking at the dragon fish that was tightly held by him, he was very embarrassed. Damn, I didn't expect that it would take so long to catch a dragon fish after transforming into an ordinary person. If it wasn't for my strong body, I would have given up halfway due to exhaustion. Bang! A muffled sound was heard, and the suffocating feeling in his heart was vented on the dragon fish. He directly punched the dragon fish's head and jumped out of the water. Now, everything is here. Looking at the harvest of half a day, Lin Rei was very satisfied. Although the process of catching the dragon fish was very unpleasant, the final result was still good. After putting on his clothes and tidying up, he came to a clean open space not far from the stream and placed the materials. With a thought, he took out all the cooking tools that he had prepared a long time ago. Lin Rei had pots, spatulas, and even a stove. Looking at these familiar things in his memory, Lin Rei missed them very much. Mom, brother, sister, I wonder if you guys are doing well now? These things in front of him were all things that Lin Rei had collected on planet Aqua Blue before he entered the immortal realm. However, he had never used them. After all, apart from cultivating, he had no time to do these things. It was a pity when he thought about it. Opposite, it's been a long time since you guys had a drink. Looking at the nostalgic things in front of him, he suddenly remembered that when he left planet Aqua Blue, he had collected a lot of Moutai, foreign wine, and some red wine. Thinking about it, a bottle of Moutai appeared in his hand. Looking at it, Lin Rei couldn't wait to open it. Suddenly, a mellow wine aroma rushed out of the bottle and floated in the air. Hiss, taking a deep breath, the wine aroma rushed into his nose. For a moment, the wine worm in his stomach began to act up. Gulp, gulp. After a mouthful of wine, the mellow wine aroma made all the cells in Lin Rei's body vibrate. His face was full of satisfaction. TSK, since there is wine, how can there be no dishes to go with it? Lin Rei moved. After setting up the cooking tools, he started to show off his cooking skills. While cooking, Lin Rei sent a message to Ying, Bing, and Sakura respectively. He also told them his address and asked them to come quickly. Sakura, Bing, and Ying were originally together. The three of them looked at each other with puzzlement. The three of them were originally looking for Lin Rei. Therefore, after receiving Lin Rei's message, the three of them were very excited. As for why Lin Rei asked them to come, the three of them didn't care. Not far away from the stream, exquisite dishes appeared on the table that Lin Rei took out. Various fragrances of different colors mixed together, and the surrounding few miles was filled with this aroma. Damn, this aroma, that's not right. How can someone from the dragon race make such fragrant dishes? Moreover, there is also the smell of the arowana in this dish. It's impossible for someone from the dragon race to make such a dish. Who is it? Resentful and puzzled voices came from a cave not far away from Lin Rei. No, this uncle's Dao heart has been shaken. Swish! A black shadow rushed out of the cave. The speed was so fast that it made people speechless. Even Ruo Lin Rei would be shocked if he saw it because this speed was almost as fast as when he fully activated his cultivation. When the black shadow rushed out of the cave, its appearance was revealed. It was a demonic beast with a lion's head, deer's horns, tiger's eyes, elk's body, dragon's scales, and ox's tail. The hair on its tail was like a dragon's tail. At this moment, it was looking at the direction where the aroma came from with an angry expression. It looked very funny. Damn, who is it that dares to be so presumptuous in this uncle's place? With a low roar, its figure turned into a blood-colored light and rushed towards Lin Rei's direction. At this moment, Lin Rei had finished cooking all the dishes on the table. He was sitting in front of the table, drinking wine and eating stir-fried dishes. He was having a good time. This aura is. At this moment, just when Lin Rei was about to taste the red braised arowana, a powerful aura appeared and attracted his attention. Ah, interesting. I didn't expect there to be other demonic beasts in the dragon race. Moreover, this demonic beast is even stronger than the dragon emperor of the dragon race. If Wuming Dragon were to know about this, would he be so angry that he would vomit blood? The corner of his mouth twitched, and a hint of interest appeared. Chapter 973. His eyes were filled with interest as he looked in the direction of the demonic beast. In his hand, he held a jade wine cup filled with wine to his mouth. With a tilt of his head, the wine entered his stomach with a gulp. Whoosh! The sound of something breaking through the air surrounded Lin Rei's ears. He stared at the blood-red light and smiled. Hee, things are getting more and more interesting. He muttered to himself. He stood up and released his cultivation. He put away the wine cup and disappeared. At that moment, the mysterious demonic beast looked up in shock. A person had appeared not far in front of him and blocked his path. Perhaps he had been too focused on finding the source of the fragrance, so he didn't notice when the person in front of him arrived. He stopped and looked at the person in front of him. He said, "Kid, you're a human. Why are you in my territory?" As he spoke, he glanced at the table full of delicacies. When he saw the wine bottles on the table, his bell-sized eyes lit up. Seeing this monstrous beast appear, Linley stared blankly. For no other reason than the fact that this beast's appearance was truly astonishing. Qilin. That's right. It looked like a Qilin. How could Lin Rei not be stunned? Logically speaking, the Qilins, dragons, and phoenixes should have been wiped out during the prehistoric times. However, not only did the dragons survive, but the phoenixes also appeared. Now, a Qilin had appeared. Lin Rei didn't understand. He started to wonder if everything he knew was wrong. Maybe things weren't as he thought. Of course, Lin Rei didn't think too much about it. After all, he didn't know if the blood Qilin was a friend or foe. In particular, the aura emanating from the blood Qilin's body carried a hint of savagery and menace. Linley couldn't help but feel overjoyed. The blood Qilin made him feel extremely suppressed. He hadn't felt this way in a long time. At that moment, Lin Rei's thoughts were the opposite of the blood Qilin's. He thought that it would be great if he could get all the dishes after Lin Rei gave birth. Looking at the blood Qilin, Lin Rei didn't say anything. He wanted to live a peaceful life for a few days, but it seemed that he couldn't. TSK, Qilin race. I didn't think that there would be a race like you in this world. It's unbelievable. Linley spoke up. I've long since heard that the dragon, phoenix and Kirin clans were the most powerful clans in the primordial era. The experts within your clans are as common as the clouds. You fellows are much stronger than ordinary cultivators. As he said that, a provocative look appeared on his face. He smirked and said, I wonder if a Qilin like you is as strong as the legends say. Whoosh, as soon as he finished speaking, Linley transformed into a ray of light and charged towards the blood-colored Qilin. This time, Linley used all of his strength. He had a feeling, but if he didn't use his full strength, he was afraid that he wouldn't be a match. You're attacking already? Seeing Linley charge towards it, the blood-colored Qilin was stunned. Its face grew solemn, and then, without hesitation, it raised its foot and stomped towards Linley. The enormous beast leg carried with it an enormous amount of pressure and power. Its speed was so fast that it appeared right in front of Linley. It wasn't the slightest bit faster or more merciful as it stomped towards Linley's head. Good. Good. He didn't dodge or use the Chaos Dragon Spear. He released half of his physical strength and punched at the beast leg. Bang! A muffled sound rang out, and a wave of energy swept out in all directions with the two as the center. Damn, my food! At this moment, the blood Qilin, who had been thinking about the dishes, sensed the power of the shockwaves. Its expression changed, and it screamed. It hurriedly separated from Linley and retreated from the battlefield. Then, a streak of light appeared in front of the dining table, and a barrier surrounded the table. What do you mean? The blood Qilin's actions stunned Lin Ray. Things happened a little too quickly. Also, this was a little, weird. Kid, it's wrong to waste food. Moreover, it's such a delicious dish. Even if you don't like it, you can give it to me. Really, why are young people like this? After saying that, the blood Qilin rolled its eyes at Lin Ray. Its expression was full of resentment. Damn, this guy can't be. As if he thought of something unbelievable, he stared at the blood Qilin. It seemed like he wanted to verify his thoughts. Whoosh! The blood Qilin didn't care about Lin Ray's stare. A spell that Lin Ray didn't understand came out of the blood Qilin's mouth. The next moment, the blood Qilin's beast form turned into a young man wearing a blood-red robe. The young man ignored Lin Ray. Instead, he reached into the barrier, grabbed a fish, and started eating. Maybe it was because the aroma was too alluring, or maybe it was because he hadn't eaten in a long time, but the young man didn't seem to be affected at all. He grabbed the arowana and started eating without caring about his image. Delicious. It's too delicious. How can it be so delicious? Wow, I haven't eaten such delicious fish in a long time. This dish only exists in heaven. It's rare to taste it in the human world. Holy shit. Am I seeing things? Linley almost couldn't believe his own eyes when he saw the scene in front of him. And it was this scene that confirmed Linley's suspicions. This guy had indeed been lured out by his food. Something seems wrong. Suddenly, a question appeared in Lin Ray's mind. He couldn't figure it out, but he felt that something was wrong. Lin Ray looked up at the young man. Finally, his gaze landed on the fish in the young man's hand. Suddenly, he understood. Motherf ***, my fish. Linley recalled that the fish he had cooked had been eaten. He had wasted an entire morning and had barely managed to catch it with his fleshly body. He hadn't even had a bite, but now it had ended up in someone else's stomach. Bastard, you better spit it out. The more Lin Ray thought about it, the more frustrated he felt. Then, his figure shot out. Unknowingly, the Chaos Dragon Spear appeared in his hand. 9 dragons were also released by Lin Ray. They rushed towards the young man. A woo, dragon roars resounded through the sky. The roars were so loud that it seemed to break through the cage of heaven and earth. Dragon race. At this moment, the young man who was eating crazily heard the dragon roars behind him. Then, he stopped what he was doing and turned his head to look. ***ck, this is, looking at the 9 dragons in front of him, the young man cursed. Then, his expression changed. He moved his body and tried to escape from the 9 dragons. However, the young man had underestimated the strength of the dragons. Perhaps it was because the young man had too much confidence in his cultivation. At the moment when he wanted to escape, his body was entangled by the tail of one of the dragons. he couldn't move at all. F*ck, no way. Feeling that his body was bound, the young man subconsciously wanted to break free. However, what he did not expect was that the remaining 8 azure dragons all appeared. In the end, each of them turned into the size of a thumb and wrapped around the young man tightly. No matter how hard he struggled, he could not do anything in the end. F*ck, what's going on? Why are these guys here? Looking at the 9 dragons entangled around his body in shock, the young man was confused. He didn't understand. Humph, you bastard, how dare you eat the dragon race that I had painstakingly caught. At this moment, while the young man was still in shock and confusion, Lin Rei appeared in front of him. With a resentful look, he smacked the young man's head with a chestnut. Roar! A beast-like cry came out of the young man's mouth. It was sharp and had a strong penetrating power. Oh, you're still screaming? What are you screaming for? I didn't even scream and you're still screaming? Looking at the young man, Lin Rei was unhappy. Looking at the bones on the ground, Lin Rei felt that he couldn't control himself and wanted to stab the young man. You! What are you doing? Didn't I just eat one of your dragon fish? Do you have to go this far? At most, I'll accompany you. I'll compensate you 100 of them. How about 100? Although it was painful, the young man knew that he had to admit defeat. Compensate? Raising his head to look at the young man, a cold smirk appeared on his face. How are you going to compensate me? I sealed my cultivation base and physical body, and spent the better part of a day to catch this. And yet, you bastard ate it to me without a second word. How dare you boast that you will compensate me with 100 of them? Alright, you want to accompany me? Sure. Saying that, Lin Rei was also angry. Pointing at the stream not far away, he said, seal your cultivation and physical body completely. You're not allowed to use any Dharma treasures, spells, or battle techniques. You can only use your hands to catch 100 of them. Then, I might consider letting you go. What? This request made the young man dumbfounded. No cultivation, no physical body, no Dharma treasures, spells, or battle techniques. Moreover, it was to catch 100 dragon fish. In the young man's opinion, this was impossible. Oh, right. As if he thought of something, Lin Rei said, I'll give you half a day. If you can't do it by then, I promise you that I'll let you know what the most terrifying thing in this world is. You can run, but do you think you can escape the surveillance of the 9 dragons? You. Seeing Lin Rei's response, the young man stared at Lin Rei angrily. He wanted to refute by saying that he would not do it. However, when the words reached the tip of his tongue, he could no longer say it. This was because he knew that Lin Rei was right. He was no match for the 9 dragons. Therefore, in the end, he could only compromise and agree to all of Lin Rei's requests and conditions. Heh, what do you think? Do you agree? If you do, go and catch them now. If you don't, then, I agree. How can I not agree? Before Lin Rei could finish his sentence, the young man quickly responded. My name is Xuelian. I'll go and catch the dragon fish now. Just you wait. As he said that, he lowered his head and looked at the 9 dragons coiling around his body. Then, he raised his head and signaled Lin Rei to let him go. Let's go. Keep an eye on him. When he catches 100 dragon fish for me, then let him go. Of course, his time limit is only half a day. As he said that, Lin Rei ignored him and sat down at the dining table. He looked like he was ready to watch a good show. Unknowingly, a bottle of Maotai appeared in his hand. He raised his head and drank it. He was so happy that his heart was about to explode. Who would ask a blood-colored Qilin to catch fish for them? The answer was, of course, no. The Qilin was one of the rulers of the Eldritch Age. Who would have the guts to do that? Splash! The sound of something falling into the water entered Lin Rei's ears. He raised his head and saw Shuel Yen walking around in the water with his upper body naked. His speed was not very fast. It could be seen that he had sealed all of his cultivation. At this moment, he was just an ordinary person. However, he was a demonic beast after all. His body was very strong. Compared to Lin Rei, Shuel Yen quickly threw a 1-meter-long dragon to the shore. Although Lin Rei was not very happy about this, he felt relieved when he thought about the other party's identity. Are they here? At this moment, 3 obscure auras came from afar. Lin Rei was very familiar with these 3 auras. Therefore, he did not guard against them. Husband. A soft call came from afar. Lin Rei raised his head and saw Ying, Bing, and Sakura flying over from afar. Their speed was very fast. In just a short while, they arrived in front of Lin Rei. Landing on the ground, the 2 women quickly rushed into Lin Rei's embrace. Their hands tightly hugged Lin Rei and were unwilling to let go. Regarding this, Lin Rei was very helpless. You didn't even say anything when you came out. You made us look for you. Sakura impolitely hammered Lin Rei's chest. His face was full of hidden bitterness. Looking at the hidden bitterness on Sakura's face and his 2 wives who were hugging him, a touch of embarrassment emerged. Then, he quickly changed the topic, that, by the way, I have cooked. I called you guys over for no other reason. Let's eat and chat. Are you sure? Looking at Lin Rei in disbelief, Sakura couldn't believe that Lin Rei was the one who said those words. That's right. Isn't it already done? It's just that. Looking at the empty plate with the arowana, his face wrinkled. His gaze swept over Shuel Yen who was catching the arowana and didn't want to mention it again. Forget it, let's hurry up and cook. After saying that, he carried his 2 wives and placed them on the chair before sitting down. As for Sakura, he naturally wouldn't be polite. He sat down and grabbed the wine bottle and raised his head to take a sip. This wine, after a mouthful of wine, his face was full of surprise. This is too delicious. You're not a good friend, Lin Rei. You have such a good wine but you don't know how to share it. After saying that, he took another big mouthful of wine before stopping. At the side, looking at Sakura's appearance, Ying and Ying didn't care at all as they held their stomachs and laughed. Enough, look at you. Toward Sakura, Lin Rei really blushed with shame. At this moment, he really hated that he didn't know Sakura. At this moment, when Lin Rei's scene fell into the stream, Shuel Yen's eyes were filled with displeasure. You guys are too much of a bully. I'm catching fish here while you guys are chatting and laughing, drinking and chatting. Chapter 974. Of course, Blood Lotus would not say such words. It was for no other reason than the fact that there were 9 azure dragons glaring at him in the sky. He was sure that if he had a shred of resentment, he would be torn into pieces in the next moment. Seeing the scene of Linley and the others eating heartily, out of sight, out of mind, Blood Lotus hurriedly dove down to continue working towards the goal of 100. It wasn't that he was willing to do so, but that he had no choice. Lin Rei didn't know about Shuel Yen's actions. Even if he did, he wouldn't say anything. However, Lin Rei was very interested in the appearance of a blood-colored Qilin here. This was especially so for the first time he had heard of a blood-colored Qilin. If the demonic phoenix was here, perhaps she would know some secrets, but right now, Linley didn't know where she was. After entering the 9th region, she had disappeared. Even Linley didn't know where she had gone. The atmosphere in the Dragon Consciousness Hall was extremely solemn. It was the complete opposite of Lin Rui. It was as if something big was about to happen. Long Wuming, the Supreme Elder, and the elders of the Dragon Clan were all present. They all looked at the Dragon Emperor, Long Wuming, with a solemn and pleading gaze. The atmosphere was so oppressive that it was hard to breathe. Compared to the atmosphere, a young man below couldn't stand it. He stood up and walked to the center. He cupped his hands and bowed respectfully to Long Wuming. Dragon Emperor, how do you think we should deal with this matter? That person has already given us an ultimatum. He said that he will personally visit the Dragon Clan in 3 days. He also said, if the Dragon Clan members don't move out in 3 days, the consequences will be severe. With a start, everyone was emboldened. One by one, they stood up and began to express their opinions. Lord Dragon Emperor, we don't care how you want to deal with this matter. However, how should we deal with the Dragon Clan members? That's right, Lord Dragon Emperor. It's not just the Dragon Clan members. The Saintess is the hope of the Dragon Clan. If the Saintess is harmed because of this matter, we will lose more than we gain. The Grand Elder standing beside Long Wuming also stepped forward and spoke up after hearing the crowd's words. Wuming, they're right. Although you think that Lin Rui can deal with the spatial source, you have to understand that the spatial source is a supreme existence of the laws. As the saying goes, where there's life, there's hope. If you blindly trust Lin Rui and something goes wrong, the future of our Dragon Clan will be buried here. Do you think it's worth it? At that moment, Wuming Long's brows were already furrowed together. Displeasure was written all over his face. However, he also understood what everyone was thinking. He was in a dilemma regarding this matter. Nameless, how about this? Let's take 10,000 steps back. Even if you believe Linley, have you ever thought about what if? What if he couldn't defeat the space origin? What would happen to Ling Long? Can you bear to see something happen to little Ling Long? The Supreme Elder understood Long Wuming. He could only use Ling Long to beat around the bush. That was because he understood Long Wuming and their Dragon Monarch. In his eyes, Ling Long's life was more important than anything else. He was confident that the Dragon Monarch would listen to him. However, as expected, right after the Supreme Elder finished speaking, Wuming Long suddenly raised his head and said, "Supreme Elder, this matter." After saying that, he swept his gaze across the crowd. Seeing their expectant gazes, he continued, "I'll leave this matter to you. Let everyone out of the Dragon Realm. As for the elders, if you wish to leave, you can also leave with the main group." Plop. Hearing the Dragon Monarch's decision, everyone immediately knelt down and expressed their gratitude. "Thank you, Dragon Monarch. Thank you for understanding us. What about you?" Suddenly, the Supreme Elder's cold voice sounded. "Me? I want to stay here. I want to see if that Lin Rui has the ability to subdue the spatial source." "What? You?" Hearing those words, the Supreme Elder was shocked. A country could not go a day without a ruler. The dragon race could not go without the Dragon Monarch. The Supreme Elder firmly disagreed with the Dragon Monarch's decision. The Supreme Elder wasn't the only one who was shocked. Even the other elders were shocked. In the Dragon tribe, the Dragon Monarch's existence was akin to a person's backbone. It was the most important part of their body. Therefore, when they heard Long Wuming say that he wanted to do it here, their hearts skipped a beat, and they instinctively tried to stop him. "Lord Dragon Monarch, please reconsider. You must know that you are the dragon race's emperor. If you stay here, what's the use of us leaving?" "That's right, Lord Dragon Monarch. If we leave, we must leave together. We cannot leave you here alone." "Yes, Lord Dragon Monarch. Can you leave with us?" This, Wuming Dragon fell into deep thought upon hearing everyone's words. What they said wasn't without reason. However, none of them knew that the reason he was here wasn't just to personally witness Linley defeat the Space Quintessence, it was more so because he wanted to protect the Dragon Realm and their home. This was their route. He did not want to see others destroy it. Therefore, he could not, after making up his mind, he looked down with a determined gaze. That determined gaze of his let everyone know what he was thinking. Lord Dragon Monarch, please reconsider your actions. Sigh. Looking at the pleading looks of the crowd, Wu Minglong let out a long sigh. His face was filled with determination. All right, you should leave quickly. I, this emperor, have already decided on this matter. After saying that, Wu Minglong stood up and walked out of the hall without waiting for the crowd to say anything. The moment the Dragon Monarch left the conference hall, the crowd went into an uproar. Discussions sounded continuously. What should we do? The Dragon Monarch is not leaving. That's right. Why is the Dragon Monarch doing this? Could it be that he doesn't know how powerful that person is? Sigh, don't say any more. Didn't you see the Dragon Monarch's determined expression? I'm sure everyone knows the Dragon Monarch's temper very well. No one can change the Dragon Monarch's decision. It seems like the Dragon Monarch is determined to awaken this time. All kinds of different voices sounded. Wu Minglong didn't know about this scene. At this moment, he naturally returned home to accompany his child. In the sacred grounds, Lin Rei and the other three ate their meal peacefully at the dining table without any worries or disturbances. It could be said that this meal was the most peaceful meal that Lin Rei had in this period of time. The plates on the table were naturally all cleared, and even the table was piled up. For this, Lin Rei's heart really ached. Thinking of the way Sakura drank just now, Lin Rei really wanted to give himself a few big slaps. Maotai was already very rare, and it was really troublesome to return to Aqua Blue Planet. So, how could Lin Rei not feel heartache when he saw the Maotai being consumed? Of course, on the surface, Lin Rei was still smiling without the slightest dissatisfaction. After all, Sakura was equivalent to another him. Originally, the sun was high in the sky. While Lin Rei was eating and drinking, night fell. There was always a cool breeze blowing in the night sky. It gave people a kind of refreshing feeling with a hint of coldness. Looking at Sakura, Lin Rei smiled, "Let's eat here today." Why? Sakura was stunned. He obviously didn't understand what Lin Rei's intention was. It's nothing. It's just that you guys met a bastard before coming here. He actually stole the braised arowana that I made. After saying that, his eyes hinted everyone to look at Shuel Yen, who was trying hard to catch the arowana in the distant stream. He is. F***ck, what is this brother trying to do? Why doesn't he have any cultivation at all? No cultivation? Towards Sakura's question, Lin Rei sneered, "That person's cultivation is much stronger than yours. However, since he stole my fish, he naturally has to pay a little price." Although he was still unhappy in his heart, seeing that there were at least dozens of arowana on the shore, the anger in his heart obviously lessened. F***ck, it can't be, it's him. Although he had 100% trust in Lin Rei's words, looking at the young man's current appearance, Sakura was somewhat stunned. That's right. Looking at Shuel Yen, Lin Rei told the truth to everyone, "You guys, don't underestimate him. Do you know what his original form is? Blood Qilin. We know that the Qilin clan has been exterminated in the Desolate Era. Now that a Blood Qilin has appeared here, there must be a secret behind it. Moreover, the Dragon Clan, Phoenix Clan, and Qilin Clan have all appeared in this world. I don't know if this is good or bad." At this moment, everyone was silent. They were in shock and contemplation. Lin Rei felt that the surrounding space had become oppressive. He quickly waved his hand and said with a smile, all right, don't think about it anymore. Let's go and see him first. We already know that it's afternoon. After saying that, Lin Rei took a step forward and rushed to the stream. Sakura and the others naturally followed behind Lin Rei. When they came to the stream, their eyes fell on Xuelian, who was trying hard to chase a dragon. The corner of their mouth slightly curled, and a smile appeared on their faces. How is it? Does this feel good? Splash. Suddenly, Blood Lotus, who had been working hard to move forward, broke out of the water. Raising his head to look at the chortling Linley, he felt a sense of helplessness in his heart. He truly had to submit to Linley. But at the same time, he cursed Lin Rei in his heart for being a fool who had nothing better to do. He sealed his cultivation to catch the arowana. If it wasn't for him, those 100 arowana would be a piece of cake for him with his cultivation. He wouldn't need to waste time here. Especially since he had spent so much time, he still hadn't caught enough arowana. Right now, the Qilin already hated swimming. In this afternoon, the Blood Lotus had probably finished all the swimming he had to do. Looking at Lin Rei who was smiling on the shore, Xuelian coldly snorted, then, are you here to laugh at me or what? Looking at Xuelian, Lin Rei replied, nothing, I just want to see if you have completed your task. By the way, if you haven't completed it today, you can continue tomorrow. You can finish it whenever you want. F***ck, are you serious? Didn't I just eat one of your arowana? Do I need to be so ruthless? Look at this, look at this. Pointing at the arowana on the ground, Xuelian angrily said, these are all arowana. You are still not satisfied with these and still want this daddy to continue tomorrow? Are you crazy? What? Daddy? Whose daddy are you? Linley's face was stunned. Staring at the blood-red lotus, he suddenly had the urge to beat someone up. Awu, perhaps they felt Lin Rei's intention. The 9 azure dragons in the sky roared at Xuelian. A terrifying dragon might rushed out of their body and crushed Xuelian. F***ck, this isn't fair. Feeling the enormous dragon might in the sky, Xuelian didn't care about the minimum conditions. He exerted his cultivation and rushed out of the range of the dragon might. Oh. Heh, that's pretty fast. Looking at the escaping Xuelian, Lin Rei was stunned. A sinister smile appeared on his face and he said, I will ask you one more time. Are you going to catch it or not? My patience is limited. Furthermore, I have never eaten Qilin meat before. Furthermore, it is a blood-colored Qilin. This kind of meat should be even more delicious. While speaking, he looked at Sakura. And, that's right. Although I have never eaten dragon meat, I have eaten dragon fish meat. If I eat Qilin meat today, then, tsk. As he spoke, he seemed to have eaten the innermost part. Sakura kept smacking his lips as though he was willing to eat it. F***ck, you guys, looking at Lin Rei and the others, this really subverted Qilin's 3 views. Generally, it was demonic beasts that ate humans. How come humans even ate divine beasts now? This doesn't make sense. However, he didn't have time to think about it. There were 9 azure dragons guarding the sky and Lin Rei and the group of humans on the ground. He knew that he couldn't escape. Not only was he afraid of the 9 azure dragons, but he was also afraid of Lin Rei who was controlling them. Regarding Lin Rei, Qilin didn't know what to say. To be able to control 9 azure dragons, he must be an ordinary person. How could his combat power be weak? The answer was, of course, no. 3. Just when Xuelian was hesitating, Lin Rei started to count. Regarding this, Xuelian only wanted to say, F***ck, of course, he could only think about it in his heart. 2. As soon as the two words came out, Shuel Yen became anxious. F***ck, can you wake up? We still need to eat a hot meal. Do you really want me to go back? Really, I have never seen someone like you. After saying that, Shuel Yen sealed his cultivation again and turned back into an ordinary person. He returned to the water. Looking at Shuel Yen's actions, Lin Rei laughed. That's right. Isn't this better? Why did you have to make a fuss? Look at you. Even if you make a fuss, you won't be able to do anything. What's the use of that? Pfff. At the side, Ying looked at her husband's shameless appearance and burst out laughing. This was the first time she saw Lin Rei acting like this after entering the divine world. If only my husband would act like this more often in the future. What she thought in her heart might not be able to come true. She knew that she could only treat it as an extravagant hope. Alright. You can slowly catch them here. When you are done, come up. Of course, don't come up until you finish catching them. After saying that, he looked at the azure dragons and ordered, remember this Lord's words. Shuel Yen is not allowed to come up until he finishes catching them. Look after him. Roar, the 9 azure dragons roared at the sky in unison. It was as if they were responding to Lin Rei's understood. I'll leave it to you. After saying that, Lin Rei didn't stay any longer. He didn't care about Shuel Yen anymore. He turned around and pulled Ying and Shuel Yen towards the dining table. Chapter 975. In this way, 2 days passed peacefully in Lin Rei's eating, drinking, and playing. Lin Rei was very satisfied with this kind of life, but at the same time, he also understood that this kind of life couldn't last long, because it didn't suit him. In these 2 days, Sakura had been following Lin Rei and didn't go back. Every day, he ate Lin Rei's dishes and licked his face to drink wine. Of course, it wasn't that Lin Rei forced him to stay, but because the Maotai wine was too mellow, so Sakura didn't want to leave. Coupled with Lin Rei's dishes, the two added together with such a beautiful and peaceful scenery in front of him, no one would want to leave. Ying and Ying were also very happy in these 2 days, because they finally lived the life they were looking forward to. Although the time was very short, but they were very satisfied. Let's talk too much about the good things, let's talk about the bad things. Shuel Yen, Xue Qilin, in these 2 days, he was the most sullen one. Originally, he was a mythological beast, an existence like an ancient giant beast. He should have been the focus of attention, but unfortunately, under Lin Rei's destruction, he was reduced to fishing. In these 2 days, Shuel Yen didn't stop at all. He kept going back and forth to catch the arowana, but unfortunately, he didn't meet Lin Rei's requirements. After all, he had sealed his cultivation now. In these 2 days, he thought of giving up and resisting, but when he saw the 9 azure dragons staring at him covetously in the sky, Shuel Yen was terrified. In the end, he could only continue to catch the arowana, endlessly. Lin Rei didn't pay attention to Shuel Yen, but he ate a lot of the arowana he caught. After all, the taste of arowana was very delicious and could increase one's cultivation. In the depths of the Dragon Clan's holy land, Lin Rei stood alone on the cliff in front of the cave where Lin Rei was in seclusion. Looking at the mountains and rivers below, he sighed with emotion. This place is good, but it's too easy to extinguish the fighting spirit in my heart. Thinking about the life in these 2 days, Lin Rei was a little scared, but he was also reminiscing about it. The lingering fear was because he realized that his cultivation level was slowly declining, and the aftertaste was that this kind of life was very good. Unfortunately, Lin Rei knew that he was not suitable for this kind of life, at least not now. How is it? These 2 days have been great, isn't it time to move around? Suddenly, the little dragon's voice rang in Lin Rei's mind. It's time to move around. Looking down, the corners of his mouth curled up, and a smile appeared on his face. The origin of space is coming. You'll probably be very busy during this period of time. But he changed the topic and continued, what about Shuel Yen? What about him? He. Hearing the little dragon's question, Lin Rei was stunned. Yes, how should he deal with the blood lotus? If he left it alone, it would be a waste of God's gift. If he wanted to subdue it, it wouldn't be easy. Thinking about it gave Lin Rei a headache. Subdue him. Subdue? Lin Rei was stunned. The little dragon said it so casually. Do you think you can subdue a descendant that has existed since the desolate era? Too naive. But of course, Linley naturally wouldn't say this out loud. Blood Lotus is very arrogant. Just from the way he conducts himself, you can tell. In addition, a descendant of the primordial era isn't so easy to subdue. That's right. Just like what Lin Rei said, a descendant from the desolate era was not something that could be subdued with just a few words. Ha! The little dragon laughed. Lin Rei, this is not like you. If you saw such a good thing in the past, you would have taken action without me saying anything. What's wrong with you now? This. The little dragon asked. Lin Rei was stunned for a moment, then he stammered, this, let's not talk about it. Let's talk about the origin of space first. It's urgent. I don't want to make a mistake when I collide with the origin of space. Heh, you brat. Seeing that Lin Rei was unwilling to talk about it, the little dragon did not force him and did not ask further. Then, the joking side of him disappeared in an instant. Immediately after, he said seriously, although I can't help much with the origin of space, I can still give some suggestions. If you want to hear it, I will say it. If not, of course I want to. As long as you say it, I will believe it. The little dragon was a little stunned by Lin Rei's quick reaction, but he recovered in the next moment. No matter what, he was once one of the experts, and his mentality was the strongest. Looking at Lin Rei, the little dragon said, the origin of space can only use space and the power of space. There is space around you, so, if you want to subdue and refine it, this process is very difficult. The little dragon's words were equivalent to not saying anything to Lin Rei because he felt that the little dragon was talking nonsense. Of course, the origin of space could use space and the power of space. Could it be that the origin of space could use the power of time? What a joke, let me finish. Understanding Lin Rei's thoughts, the little dragon continued, if you want to succeed in breaking through, the only point is to break through with force. As long as you are strong enough, breaking through the seal of space will not be a problem. Doesn't your martial god stratagem have the effect of overlapping and strangling space? In addition, you have just learned the Void Blade and are familiar with space. I think it won't be too bad for the origin of space. Damn. The little dragon's words made Lin Rei have the urge to beat it up. What did it mean by, won't be too bad? Did it mean that he didn't have much confidence? Yes, I just don't have much confidence. Moreover, according to the dragon race, the strength of the origin of space is at least the cultivation of a mid-stage Dao fruit sage. Think about it. Do you think you can defeat a mid-stage Dao fruit sage with the power of the origin of space? Subconsciously, Linley wanted to say yes, but the word, yes, was stuck at the tip of his tongue. He understood how powerful these two combined were. Linley didn't dare to be certain that he would be able to defeat them. In fact, it could be said that he didn't have any confidence at all. Therefore, if you want to defeat the origin of space, the only way is to let nature take its course and adapt to the situation. You have to learn to consider different things in different situations. Maybe, when you fight the origin of space, you can enter a certain state, or you can think faster and win. Hee. Do you believe that yourself? It had to be said that the little dragon's pre-battle bluff was a failure. Damn, you're not going to do anything? Seeing that the little dragon was about to run away, Lin Rei couldn't help but curse. Nonsense. This is your business, not mine. What else can I do if I don't run? Besides, I've been out for so long. It's time for me to go back and get my beauty sleep. After saying that, the little dragon's voice disappeared. Even the communication channel with Lin Rei was cut off. Damn it. That's too much. Lin Rei could only complain about the little dragon's behavior. Lin Rei knew the little dragon's strength very well. TSK. How do I subdue the origin of space? Thinking about it, Lin Rei felt a headache coming on. The origin of space was one of the 3,000 great ways. It wasn't something that could be subdued just like that. Without true ability, subduing it would only be in vain. Time passed little by little. The sun set and the moon rose. The night of the dragon race was very charming. Perhaps the most beautiful scene in the world could only be seen here. Looking at the glowing things below, Lin Rei's mood dissipated a lot. Forget it. I'll deal with it as it comes. Since I've already chosen to use the origin of space to become a sage, what's there to be afraid of? At most, I'll be a hero again after 18 years. Hee. How would I know if I won't be able to win if I don't give it a shot? Thinking about it, Lin Rei's mood became much better. The haze on his face was swept away. He opened his mouth and said to himself, "It's time to go see Blood Lotus." In the next moment, Lin Rei's figure completely disappeared from the edge of the cliff. At this moment, in the stream, Blood Lotus was like a child. She was cursing Lin Rei while swimming with all her might to catch the arowana. Damn it. Brat, don't fall into my hands. If you fall into my hands, I'll kill you. Yeah. I'm an ancient remnant. How dare you ask me to catch fish for you for 2 days and 2 nights? Humph. If you're so capable, don't go out. Once you go out, you'll be handsome while stepping on banana peels. Once you go out, you'll be chased by your enemies. You'll be cheated when you buy medicine. You'll choke to death when you eat, choke to death when you drink water. Once she started scolding, Blood Lotus couldn't stop. That little mouth of hers was like a machine gun, making toot sounds. Blood Lotus didn't know that when she started complaining, Lin Rei had already appeared not far away. Moreover, Lin Rei had heard every single word she said. Originally, he wanted to discuss with Blood Lotus how to deal with this matter. But now, Lin Rei regretted it. He regretted it. If you want to come out, do it in your next life. As he spoke, he took a step forward and his figure instantly appeared on the shore. His expression was as gloomy as water as he looked at the Blood Lotus in the stream. He coldly snorted and said, "Are you happy cursing? Do you want me to pull a group of people over to join you?" At this moment, Blood Lotus was still unaware of Lin Rei's arrival. She subconsciously said those words. Hee. That's great. Just as she finished speaking, the excited Blood Lotus was stunned. Her neck seemed to have stiffened as she slowly turned her head in the direction of the voice. F***ck. Seeing Lin Rei by the shore, Blood Lotus's heart sank. A bad premonition surged in her heart. Sure. I originally wanted to let you go. But now, this daddy has changed my mind. A smile surfaced. Since you like to curse, then continue. I won't stop you. Moreover, I feel that this place is especially suitable for you. It's spacious and like spring all year round. It's not me, you don't have to say any more. I understand. Without waiting for Blood Lotus to speak, Lin Rei raised his head and signaled to the 9 azure dragons. Look after him. Wait until I return. You all understand. Roar. The 9 azure dragons roared at the sky in unison. Their voices shook the heavens as though they wanted to pierce through it. Nodding, Lin Rei didn't look at Blood Lotus in the stream. He turned around and disappeared into the forest. At the dragon race's residence, everyone was originally preparing for the migration as Nameless Dragon said. Just as everyone was busy, a dragon roar that pierced through the heavens suddenly rang in everyone's ears. Plop. The sound of people kneeling on the ground could be heard. The dragons who were originally busy stopped what they were doing when they heard the azure dragon's roar. They directly prostrated themselves on the ground and kowtowed to the azure dragon. This oppressive might. This oppressive might is. At this moment, in the dragon race's hall, Nameless Dragon raised his head and looked in the direction of the azure dragon. His expression was filled with excitement. Amidst his excitement, there was a hint of disbelief and shock. Lord Ancestral Dragon, how is this possible? Nameless Dragon asked as he looked in the direction of the azure dragon. No. Didn't the Ancestral Dragon die in the Great War during the Great Desolate Era? Moreover, there were only 4 Ancestral Dragons in the Great Desolate Era. Yet, there were 9 of them roaring at the same time. For some reason, Wuming Dragon couldn't help but connect this to Linli, who was in the Holy Land, with this. Is it you? Lin Rei didn't know what was happening in the dragon race. He didn't expect that a single roar from the azure dragon would cause such a magnificent scene. At this moment, Lin Rei had already begun to prepare for the arrival of the space origin. Inside the cave, the primal chaos dragon spear was stabbed into the ground not far from Lin Rei. Waves of oppressive might flashed in the cave. Are we going to fight? Sakura, who was sitting together with Lin Rei, looked at Lin Rei with a solemn expression. There was a flash of worry on his face. He admitted that Lin Rei was very strong. However, the space origin wasn't separated like the slaughter origin. Although the space origin's cultivation fell when it separated from Hongjun, no one could say how much it would fall. What made Sakura even more worried was that the space origin and the time origin were existences that existed side by side. These 2 origins were existences that could only be talked about. Now that Lin Rei was going to fight with it, could he win? The atmosphere became oppressive because of Sakura's words. It was as if Lin Rei was about to die. Husband. Looking at Lin Rei, Ying called out softly. She didn't hide the worry on her face. She knew that she couldn't stop her husband. The only thing she could do was to support him. She would spare no effort to support him. Don't worry. Nothing will happen. Seeing the worry on Ying's face, Lin Rei's heart trembled. He gave her a reassuring look. I believe in you. You too, can't you play properly? Don't you see that there's a good single person beside you? Perhaps it was to relieve the oppressive atmosphere. As soon as Sakura said this, the atmosphere was instantly reversed. Pft! Ying, who was originally full of worry, burst out laughing the moment she heard this. Although she was still worried about Lin Rei, it was much better than before. Looking at the 3 people and the smiles on their faces, Lin Rei was even more determined to become stronger. He had to be on the side because he wanted to keep this moment forever. He wanted to keep this smile on the faces of his family, friends, and brothers forever. Chapter 976. It's here. In the depths of the sacred ground, Lin Rei was sitting on the edge of the cliff. His originally closed eyes suddenly opened, and a light flashed. The corner of his mouth slightly curled up, and a smile appeared. He raised his head and looked at the entrance of the dragon clan. What? You mean? At the side, Sakura, who was sitting together with Lin Rei, heard Lin Rei's words. He raised his head and followed Lin Rei's gaze. His expression was filled with worry and shock. Hee, that's right. If what Nameless Dragon said is true, I'm afraid that the space origin is really here. With regards to the arrival of the space origin, other than being excited, Lin Rei only had battle intent left. He was eager to know how strong his current combat strength was. But at the same time, there was also a hint of worry in the battle intent. Not for other reasons, but the little dragon's words were very clear. The strength of the space origin had already exceeded the scope of his ability. And if he wanted to win and subdue it, the only way was to counter soldiers with arms and water with an earth weir. He had to take one step at a time and adapt according to his own experience. Lin Rei understood that this battle would not be easy. It could even be said that it would be difficult to move forward. Can you defeat the space origin? TSK, don't say if I can. I can only say that I will take one step at a time, F***CK. Lin Rei's words made Sakura blush with shame. He did not expect Lin Rei to say such words. This was completely different from Lin Rei's previous state. Therefore, he understood that this time, Lin Rei had encountered a true expert. Moreover, it was an expert that could threaten him. All right. Don't be like this. It's not like we have no chance of winning. The most important thing now is to test how strong the space origin is, as well as its weaknesses and flaws. From there, we can find a way to defeat it. Seeing Lin Rei so determined, Sakura did not say anything else. He stood up and looked at the entrance of the dragon clan. His original lazy attitude could not be dispelled. A terrifying sword intent broke out from his body. At this moment, Sakura was like a sword god. If Long Wuming of the dragon race saw such a terrifying sword intent from Sakura, he would probably be so shocked that he wouldn't even be able to speak. After all, the impression that Sakura gave Long Wuming before was that of a lazy person. Perhaps it was because Sakura had never released his cultivation from beginning to end. And at this moment, Sakura was completely different from before. The current him was like an unsheathed sword, revealing its sharpness, causing one's soul to tremble. Since you said that you want to investigate the flaws of the space source, let me do it. I haven't been active for a long time. Now that I've met such a powerful opponent, I might be able to help you find the flaws. I might even be able to raise my cultivation base and realm during the battle. Seeing Sakura's high fighting spirit, Lin Rei was stunned for a moment before shaking his head helplessly. Forget about you. I'm talking about Nameless Dragon. Isn't he still here? Although I haven't really fought with Nameless Dragon before, his combat power isn't what you see. Oh. That seems to be the case. After all, he's the Dragon Emperor of the Dragon Clan. If he doesn't have any trump cards, I don't think he should be the Dragon Emperor. You don't have to say any more. Since I've already decided, I have to do it. Otherwise, my future path will be hindered. Alright. Seeing Sakura's determination, Lin Rei wanted to say something else. But in the end, he didn't say anything. It was because what Sakura said was right. A sword cultivator's Tao was to press forward without fear. If he didn't do what he said, or if it was because he was a little afraid in his heart, then, this sword cultivator's path would come to an end. In the end, an unparalleled sword cultivator would be drowned in the long river of time. Let's go. In the next moment, Sakura's figure turned into a sharp sword and rushed into the sky, disappearing in front of Lin Rei. In the valley at the entrance of the Dragon Clan, a young man appeared. Looking at the picturesque scenery, a smile appeared on his face. Really? You had to wait for me to do it personally. Looking at the wall in front of him that had nowhere to go, the young man sighed and shook his head. Then, he raised his hand and a natural ripple of Tao rhyme emerged around him. Open. He lifted his head and whispered to the wall in front of him. Suddenly, a strange energy came out from his hand and arrived in front of the wall. The energy released by the young man was very powerful. The moment the energy appeared, the spiritual qi in the entire valley began to become irritable. In the end, the spiritual qi completely lost its consciousness and was driven toward the wall by the young man's energy. And the moment the energy was about to collide with the wall, it miraculously stopped. Rumble. With a loud rumble, a spatial door slowly opened at the place where the energy stopped. I've already said that space is useless to me. In front of me, all spatial spells are useless. This one. I represent space. Looking at the door, the young man spoke with confidence as though what he said was true. The door opened and the young man strode into the door unhurriedly. In the end, he disappeared into the door. And the moment the young man disappeared, the door also disappeared as though it was never there. The scenery in the valley remained the same. There was no change in the slightest because of what happened just now. However, it was different in the Dragon Clan. The moment the young man opened the door that connected to the Dragon Clan opened at the same time. In response, the disciples guarding the entrance of the Dragon Clan hurriedly sent a voice transmission to Wuxia Dragon, asking him to come and take a look. At this moment, the Dragon Clan could be said to be empty. This was because on the second day, Wuxia Dragon had moved all the members of the Dragon Clan who wanted to leave out of the space. The reason why the few disciples guarding the door were still there was because they had given up when they were about to leave. They felt that this was their home and they had to protect this place. Even though they knew that their cultivation might not be of any use in the journey, they still decided to stay. There was not the slightest hint of retreat in their expressions. In the Dragon Clan's hall, Wuxia Dragon was already prepared. At this moment, he was in a state of extreme nervousness and anxiety. The arrival of the origin of space made him nervous because the strength of the origin of space was right there. Whoosh, just as Wuxia Dragon was feeling anxious, a stream of light pierced through the air and finally stopped in front of him. This is the voice transmission jade slip from the disciple guarding the door. Could it be? As if he had thought of something, Wuxia Dragon's expression changed as he hurriedly injected his cultivation into the jade slip. Lord Dragon Emperor, this is bad. I don't know why the Dragon Clan's entrance suddenly opened by itself. Please come and check it out as soon as possible. Looks like it's here. Wuxia Dragon did not doubt it at all. To be able to open the Dragon Clan's entrance without anyone noticing, other than the origin of space, Wuxia Dragon could not think of anyone else who could do it. Even a saint would not be able to do it. Sigh. Looking at the hall, Wuxia Dragon let out a long sigh. A look of helplessness flashed across his face as he took a step forward and disappeared from the hall. At the same time, after bidding farewell to Lin Rei, Sakura came to the entrance and waited. There was no other reason but for the origin of space. Even though he knew that he might not be a match for the origin of space, sword cultivators were like that. They pressed forward fearlessly. Now, above the void, he was looking down at the Dragon Clan's entrance with a nervous expression. And in Sakura's hand, the sword within the flute appeared. At this moment, the sword within the flute was not at its original level. In the process of re-refining, Lin Rei had fused several kinds of rare materials. Because of this, the sword within the flute's level rose sharply and finally stopped at the semi-sage level. Lin Rei felt sorry for not allowing the sword within the flute to enter the sage realm. However, Sakura was already very happy to be able to upgrade the sword within the flute to this level. Originally, when he saw the sword within the flute, Lin Rei had planned to change it to a sage tool. However, Sakura did not allow him to do so. In the past, the sword within the flute could not be together with him. It could be said that he had used the sword within the flute to treat his brothers, friends, and comrades in arms on the spot. Sakura was unable to change a brother whom he could entrust his back to. It's here. Seeing the dragon clan's entrance appear, Sakura held the sword within the flute tightly. His palms were covered in sweat. His face was even soaked in sweat because of nervousness and excitement. Whoosh! Under the attention of the three parties, a young man stepped out of the entrance. The moment the young man stepped out, the space portal disappeared instantly. Seems like everyone is waiting for me. The young man stepped out of the portal and felt a few hidden auras. A smile appeared on his face. Who are you? Why are you trespassing into my dragon clan's territory? However, just when the situation was getting more and more serious, suddenly, an extremely uncoordinated voice broke the solemn atmosphere. Lowering his head, he looked at the person who interrupted him. His gaze suddenly froze as he said, "Are you talking to me?" "Yes, it's you. Why are you trespassing into my dragon clan's territory?" As for the young man, the dragon clan's disciple who was guarding the gate did not know who he was, let alone why he was here. He only knew that the person in front of him had trespassed into his home. Who am I? I am Kong Shi. I am the future owner of this space. Oh no, it should be said that from the moment I stepped into this space had already changed its name and became my private property. Did you hear me clearly? Looking at the disciple who was guarding the gate, Kong Shi's expression was full of contempt and disdain. You, shut up and step back. Just as the gatekeeper was about to say something, a familiar voice suddenly rang in his ears. Lord Dragon Emperor, why are you? That's right, this voice belonged to the Dragon Clan's Emperor, Wuxia Dragon. After receiving the jade slip, Wuxia Dragon hurried over to protect the gatekeeper. However, he did not expect that these gatekeeper disciples would be so stupid as to go against the origin of space. Wuxia Dragon was sure that if he had not shouted just now and allowed the gatekeeper to continue speaking, the only result that awaited him would be death. Step back. Seeing that the gatekeeper wanted to refute, Wuxia Dragon did not give him any face and coldly reprimanded him. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. This disciple will step back now. It was not good for him to leave. Without any rebuttal, he directly retreated 1,000 meters behind Wuxia Dragon and stood there respectfully without saying anything. Seeing this scene, Sakura who was above the void saw it very clearly. Even their conversation was very clear. Wuxia Dragon took a step forward and came to Kong Shi's side. Looking at him, Wuxia Dragon's expression was full of confusion. He did not understand why Kong Shi was so obsessed with the Dragon Clan space. Why? Why must it be our Dragon Clan space? Although there are not many spaces like this in the Divine Realm, there are still some. Why are you so fixated on our Dragon Clan space? Finally, the thoughts that he had been hiding in his heart all this time were finally spoken out. As the saying goes, if one does not speak, one will not feel happy. At this moment, he felt much more comfortable after speaking out his thoughts. Faced with Wuxia Dragon's question, Sakura smiled bitterly and shook his head. He did not have the opportunity to continue watching. Why? Actually, this seat also does not know. However, since this seat has seen this space, it must be mine. Do you understand? However, there is one thing that you did not do wrong. Right now, there are only a few of you left in the Dragon Clan. It would appear that you have made a good decision. However, you have forgotten that I am talking about everyone, including you. Boom, a frightening oppressive might suddenly burst forth from his body. In an instant, it arrived before Wuming Dragon and began to oppress him. PFFF, when the oppressive might arrived, those with high cultivation like Wuming Dragon were naturally fine. However, the disciples behind Sakra suffered a calamity. A mouthful of old blood spurted out from their mouths. Their complexions instantly turned deathly pale. Their vision turned black and their bodies fell weakly onto the ground. They lost consciousness. Sensing that his disciples had fainted but were not in any danger, Wuming Dragon was relieved. Don't panic. Seeing Wuming Dragon's furious expression, Kong Shi smiled. He raised his head and looked toward Sakra's direction. He opened his mouth and said with a smile, "Friend, there is no point in just watching. Why don't you show yourself?" Amen? Kong Shi's words attracted Wuming Dragon's attention. At this moment, Lin Rei's figure involuntarily appeared in his mind. "Lin Rei, is that you?" "Hee, I did not expect your alertness to be so high." Just as Wuming Dragon was secretly muttering in his heart, Sakra's voice rang out. Above the void, Sakra was flying in the air. He was rushing towards Kong Shi. When facing Kong Shi, Lin Rei did not even think of hiding. After all, with the other party's cultivation, he only needed to slightly probe to discover him. "It's you?" Suddenly, a cry of surprise came from Wuming Dragon's mouth. His voice was filled with shock and disbelief. The person who appeared was the Lin Rei that he was thinking of. Instead, it was Sakra who he had once thought to be a useless person. "Your cultivation." Sensing Sakra's cultivation, Wuming Dragon was stunned. Such a cultivation, such an oppressive aura. Previously, he had foolishly thought that Sakra was a useless person. Sakra did not answer Wuming Dragon's doubts. At this moment, in Sakra's eyes, there was only the space origin, Kong Shi. Sakra could feel a sense of oppression from Kong Shi. "You are very strong. Emin, you too. I can feel the sword intent emitting from your body. That unparalleled sword intent makes me very uncomfortable." "Is that so?" "Yes." Seeing Kong Shi's reaction, Sakra smiled and said, "Then you can continue to feel uncomfortable. But, I do not like this feeling. For such a phenomenon, the usual solution is to destroy it. Only then can I feel comfortable." So, suddenly, the smell of gunpowder filled the air. Wuming Dragon was like an insignificant person who was ignored by Sakra and Kong Shi. Chapter 977. Asterisk whoosh. Asterisk the sound of something breaking through the air resounded. A moment ago, Sakra was still standing far away. In the next moment, the place where Sakra was standing was completely empty. There was no trace of him. "Amen? Trying to play speed with me?" A hint of disdain flashed through Kong Shi's eyes. It was as if Sakra was a clown in his eyes. "Clown? It's still hard to say if I'm a clown or not. That would depend on whether or not you can keep up with my speed. Also, tsang." The sound of a sword rang out from behind Kong Shi. The sound was sharp. An ice-cold aura soared into the sky and the surrounding temperature dropped. "Sword." Finally, the instant he said that word, a 3-feet-long cold light rushed out from the back of Kong Shi's head like starlight. It pierced towards Kong Shi's head. The speed was so fast that it caused one to be speechless. The entire process did not even take a second. At this moment, Sakra was using his full strength. He did not hold back in the slightest. He understood that if he were to hold back at this moment, the only thing that awaited him would be death. Because the difference in cultivation between the two of them was truly too great. If he did not catch his opponent off guard and fight with him, he would likely not have the chance to fight here anymore. This speed. At the side, Wuming Long, who had been paying attention to the scene, was shocked the instant he saw a sword appear behind Kong Shi's back. At the moment when he saw the sword "I am in Sakura," he understood that he had been a complete clown from beginning to end. However, this was not Wuming Long's fault. After all, he had been in a high position for a long time. After all, he had been used to hearing some praises. Thus, his heart was already blinded by that kind of thing. Heh, you think that you can injure me with just this bit of ability? If that's the case, then your horizons are too shallow. Because, you don't know how big this world is. The sword cultivators that are stronger than you are as numerous as the hairs on an ox. After saying that, a hint of sternness flashed through Kong Shi's eyes. He pulled out his left hand that was hugging his chest and lightly raised it. He wanted to grab Sakura's sword. Humph, if my horizons are shallow, then your eyes can be considered blind. Because my sword is not something that those trash can compare to. Chaotic Heaven Sword Art, one sword playing the zither. It moved, the first form of Sakura's strongest sword art. Its power couldn't be underestimated, and even Lin Rei was a little afraid. Chaos Heaven Sword Art itself wasn't a sword art but a staff art. Because Sakura wasn't good at staff arts and this Chaos Heaven staff art was very powerful, Sakura spent a long time to change this staff art into the current Chaos Heaven sword art. Even so, the shadow of the staff technique still could not be removed. After all, this sword technique was not created by him. Although the moves of the sword technique were thought of by him, in the end, the source of this difficult task was a powerful staff technique. Although the appearance could be removed, the essence was inconvenient. Bang! This sword could be said to have caused the world to lose its color. This sword could be said to have become the focus of everyone's attention. What, this? A shocked voice came out of Kong Shi's mouth. At that moment, a sharp pain came from Kong Shi's palm, then spread to his arm and then to his whole body. Ah! A blood-curdling scream came out of Kong Shi's mouth. His face was full of disbelief. At the same time, an expression of wanting to kill flashed across his face. How is this possible? How is this possible? How can his sword art be so powerful? His cultivation is clearly only at the hierarch realm. How can the power displayed by him be so powerful? Has his sword intent reached such a high level? Otherwise, how can he hurt me? It shouldn't be. How can there be such a powerful expert in such a low-level plane? Why is it like this? It shouldn't be. One after another, impossible thoughts flashed in Kong Shi's mind. However, he didn't know that Lin Rei was even stronger and more monstrous than him. Moreover, everyone might have forgotten that not only did Lin Rei awaken his bloodline, but Lin Rei's blood was also lying in Sakura's body. Although it didn't awaken his bloodline, the energy of the blood had increased Sakura's combat power by several levels. Swoosh! A figure rushed out of the battle range and a scarlet light flashed in the air. Bang! Bang! Following that figure flew out 100 zhong and rolled on the ground a few times before forcibly circulating his cultivation to stop himself. Who is it? Looking at the figure lying on the ground in the distance, Wuming Long's heart was filled with hope. In his heart, he hoped that that person was Sakura. Perhaps it was because of his psychological effect that made him think that Sakura would lose this battle. In his opinion, Lin Rei was very powerful. At the very least, he was stronger than Sakura. Therefore, even if Sakura lost, there was still Lin Rei. He believed in Lin Rei very much because Lin Rei had already given him enough strength to shock and terrify him. Bang! A muffled sound came from the distance. A piece of stone that was pressing on the figure's body was removed. The figure's true appearance appeared in front of everyone's eyes. SSS. How is this possible? Looking at the miserable figure in the distance, Wu Minglong couldn't help but speak. However, just as his voice came out, he realized his own situation and immediately shut his mouth. Looks like my strength is still not enough. Such a strong person actually only suffered light injuries. When he looked at Kong in the distance, Sakura could feel that the other party's aura was not the slightest bit. On the contrary, it was much stronger. This caused his heart to tremble and he became vigilant. He was very clear that even when he was facing Lin Rei, although he felt incomparable pressure, compared to the person in front of him, it could be said that it paled in comparison. There was no comparison at all. Of course, Lin Rei's strength was not very strong. However, against Kong in the sky, there was nothing he could do. After all, Kong in the sky was the source of the space origin Dao finger. Bah! You melon! You actually made me eat a mouthful of dirt. Just you wait. After feeling the foreign object in his mouth, Kong in the sky frowned and quickly opened his mouth to spit out the thing in his mouth. However, the dirt had already melted in Kong's mouth. Even if he spat it out, he could still feel the sticky and stinky feeling and taste. You are indeed very strong. You only suffered a slight injury under my moves. I have to say that I am beginning to admire you. To be honest, for such a strong person, only a battle was the greatest admiration and respect for the opponent. So what if I admire you? You will eventually become a pile of bones under my feet. So, boy, if you have any last wishes, just say it now. Because I can't guarantee that you will still be there in the next moment. Oh, no, I mean whether you will still have the chance to speak in the next moment. As soon as these words came out, the air within a radius of 1,000 feet suddenly stopped. The temperature plummeted to a horrifying level. Come on. I'm waiting for you to get angry. Only by doing this can I find his flaws and weaknesses for me. A smile appeared on his face. When he raised his sword and pointed it at the sky, a tyrannical aura soared into the sky. If one did not sense it carefully, one would not be able to notice that the tyrannical aura contained a shocking sword intent. As the saying goes, those who strike first will gain the upper hand. Those who strike later will suffer. Striking first to gain the upper hand is a common thing in war. The second style of chaotic heaven sword technique, frost sword. Suddenly, the temperature of the surrounding air dropped again. A layer of frost formed in the surroundings. Icicles condensed and fell from the sky. This aura. Feeling this strange aura, Kong Shi was stunned. It was similar to the scene when he was sent flying by Sakura's sword. He felt very sullen. To think that he, an existence at the pinnacle of Tao, would be defeated so easily. Suppressed. This made him feel very embarrassed. Not yet. Do you really think I'm a sick cat if I don't show my might? A strange energy overflowed and formed around Kong Shi. This is. Seeing the abnormal energy around Kong Shi, Sakura was stunned. Then, he recovered and continued to charge at Kong Shi. Stupid. Looking at Sakura who was still charging at him, Kong Shi sneered. He raised his hand and a move that seemed to be a battle technique rushed out of Kong Shi's palm. Frost Sword Chi, freeze everything for me. He moved. Not far from Kong Shi, a powerful frost chi emerged and instantly sealed the area within a radius of 1,000 feet. Even Nameless Dragon could not react in time and was directly wrapped by the frost sword chi. The space was sealed. Kong Shi frowned and lowered his head to look at Sakura. Looking at his smiling face, a bad premonition surged in his heart. Whoosh. Whoosh. Whoosh, PFFF. PFFF, just at this moment, when Kong Shi was in a strange state, a blue sword chi formed by the frost chi began to condense and charged towards Kong Shi's nameless dragon. As for Sakura, who was in the middle of the frost sword chi, he was not afraid at all because the frost sword chi would not attack him. As for the energy that Kong Shi slashed out, the moment it neared Sakura, the frost sword chi moved and surrounded that energy to wear it down. Although the speed did not seem to be very fast, Sakura did not know what incredible thing he had done. Others might not know, but Ruolin and Lei would definitely understand what this strange energy was. It was not a low-grade energy but a kind of grateful nourishment and a person who pursued his own essence. As for the energy that Kong Shi displayed, it was the power of space that he yearned for even in his dreams. Time passed bit by bit. Under Sakura's control, the frost sword chi disintegrated bit by bit, proving the strongest existence. Devouring heaven art, devour for me. Suddenly, a low roar came from Sakura's mouth. In the next moment, a strange energy suddenly appeared. The moment the strange devouring energy appeared, it began to devour everything around it. Devouring heaven art was Lin Rei's. He understood the strength of this devouring heaven art. The label of devouring everything was not just for show. Ding, the devouring energy is constantly flowing into the body, please pay attention. Hearing this, Lin Rei was obviously stunned. He used his heart to feel the energy lying in his body. I didn't expect this to work. Feeling the energy was something that he had to do at the last minute. Ding, do you want to check the information and update it? The system's voice appeared again. F***ck, Lin Rei cursed. Yes, after saying that, the class ended. A screen appeared in front of Lin Rei. Lin Rei's information appeared in front of Lin Rei. Name, Lin Rei. Age, 3793. System level, 4. Cultivation base, peak late reverend experience, 158364872 Li Long, 20000000000 Li Long, spiritual roots, thunder, fire, wood, metal, chaos. Spiritual roots talent, Tao fruit Saint Great Circle cultivation method, primal chaos. Scripture level 4, incomplete. Devouring heavenly technique, growable, primordial pill refinement, entry-level cultivation method, cloud formula, emperor-level cultivation method, same formation, emperor-level cultivation method, tyrant. Body technique, emperor-level cultivation method, thunder tyrant body, emperor-level cultivation method, lightning scripture, divine-level cultivation method, martial techniques, butterfly steps, entry-level, star finger, proficient, silent thunder spear art, high profound level martial technique, now practiced to entry level, can produce 3 lightning bolts, 1000 sword art, heaven level. Level 3 incineration, emperor level, dragon subduing step, emperor level, Shura spear art, king level, Shura sword formation, king level, divine transformation, emperor level, colored glaze, lower sacred level, 1000 illusions, lower sacred level, spiritual treasures, chaos dragon spear, top grade divine weapon, martial emperor divine spear, lower grade divine weapon, growable, 10,000 magic sword, no grade, 10,000 beasts treasure furnace, heavenly temple, upper grade immortal weapon, heaven and earth Huayu, no grade, demon subduing sword, lower sacred level, cauldron of heaven and earth, lower sacred level, equipment, flowing light divine weapon set mount, middle reverend god lucky draw wheel, 0 character lottery system, 0 times reputation, 0 exchange points, 340,000 spiritual stones, 0 lower sacred level alchemist, 1824 Li Long, 10,000 Li Long, sacred level array master, 134 Li Long, 10,000 Li Long, sacred level weapon master, 1536 Li Long, 10,000 Long, saint level symbol master, 186 mythical dragons, 10,000 mythical dragons, top grade spiritual herbs, none natural. Materials and earthly treasures, none mission, main mission, enter the holy world within 1,000 years. Side mission, refine the Tower of Babel. Unlimited. Pills, 11 mind control pills, 5639 mind control pills, isn't this still the same? Looking at his own information, he frowned and asked. Ding! Information change has begun. Host, please look forward to it. The system spoke. Lin Ray obediently stood aside and quietly watched what would happen next. Ding! The hesitant doppelganger is forcefully absorbing the space origin, so the weapon grade is about to begin. As for what the system had said about changing the information, after experiencing it for real, he would feel helpless about the cruelty of time. You're telling me that you're changing it? What the hell are you trying to do? Linley was very angry. He had thought that something amazing would happen this time. Tisk, you're thinking too much. Right now, you should hurry up and care about Sakura. His body has already reached the point where it's about to collapse. At the entrance of the dragon race. Bam! A figure descended from the sky and knelt down on one knee. Using his hands to support himself, he lowered his head, making it impossible to see his emotions. Humph, my ice sword chi is not to be trifled with. You actually took it head on. Should I say that you're stupid or stupid? Really? That's right, the one who knelt down on one knee was still Kong Shi. Kong Shi thought that using his cultivation would be enough to suppress Sakura. Who knew that Sakura still had a powerful sword technique? Pfff. A mouthful of old blood spurted out. Because of vomiting blood, Kong Shi's face turned pale. Facing Sakura, Kong Shi's eyes no longer had the kind of servility that he had in the academy. Hee, how is it? My chaotic heaven sword technique is not bad, right? Although it didn't hurt you, at least it hurt you. You're tuning into the Xiaofan's Wuxia Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.